Welcome, Ultraers, Switchy Sisters, Danonites, to episode 32 of the weekly episodic gaming adjacent livestream podcast show. This is Switch to Ultra, back on Mondays. Happy holidays, not including Thanksgiving, to all! We're back with a new Pokémon trailer, Nintendo Store app, their supplemental material for the Q2 fiscal year, and what that means for future movies and games, a Pillsbury cookie leak for a movie, the Kirby Air Riders playtest, or I think played ride, thoughts on Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, Grand Theft Auto 6 getting delayed, and the upcoming Japanese PlayStation State of Play. Welcome to the Switch to Ultra family. I'm your co-parent, BHultra.
And I'm your co-parent, Switchy.
What does that mean for... Oh... Go ahead.
Uncle Dan.
Yeah, is that what it was? Is that what we landed on?
The fun uncle.
Well, tonight we have another appearance from TheDanTheManShow. Because one, he's something of a Kirby Air Riders aficionado. He actually told me off the air that he is the top-ranked player in Kirby Air Ride, the original.
That
and
is
he could
true.
easily beat everyone in the chat. And there's money on the line. There's money to be made here. Two, we've already now gotten over the hump of having the same guest on two separate episodes. So that no longer matters. Exhausted our together. The three of us, it was to cover the new trailer and release date for Grand Theft Auto 6, which was originally coming out May 26th and is now coming out November 19th of 2026. And quite honestly, may never about this delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard. I kind of wish it was, there was also the underlying issue of why it's delayed again. Which is a bit more of a macabre thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's even coming out in 2026 at all.
Yeah.
Probably not.
What's the macabre thing?
So what I heard, and I don't know how true it is exactly, because I'm new to this whole journalism thing, is that Take-Two Interactive actually fired near 40 employees for, quote, gross misconduct in a Discord server.
Oh.
They didn't fire them in a Discord server. They fired them because of gross misconduct in a Discord server, which some anonymous employees allege was actually due to them trying to choreograph unionization in that server. So allegedly Rockstar and Take-Two terminated them because of their attempts to unionize. And I'll say this, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but I have to assume that the delays weren't because of that. It just happened to coincide the same week, because I think the game was going to get delayed anyway. I'm not saying that the firing has nothing to do with it, but I assumed that the delay was probably going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Well, when was the firing?
It was... Oh, we don't know when the firing was, but the information came out this week around the time of the delay announcement. It was like an anonymous post on a forum, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it could. I could see it going either way. Like, I think both are believable.
Yeah, well, I think both things can be true. Like, I do think that they probably were fired for trying to unionize, and also the game is getting delayed, maybe separately, because I just don't think the game is, like, close to being done. Because that's the... I mean, there's a lot of bad parts about this. I was about to say the worst part, but that's hyperbolic. The fact that it's not even, like... I guess Metroid could be another example, but at least we saw gameplay. Like, the announced trailer, the announcement date, and then the trailer we got earlier this year, it didn't really show us anything. Like, it was just a bunch of cutscenes and, like, seeing the pores and the sweat glands and a water droplet going down a cup. Like, none of it is gameplay. So, yeah. I couldn't imagine that the game was, like, close to being done anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big element. I think we really just don't know that much about this game.
No.
You know? For as long as it's been advertised, it's still such a black box to us that, I memean, I could see any reason for the delay to be like believable, just because, I don't know, it does, like I think there are very few games, maybe not any game in history that's ever been made at the scale that GTA 6 is being made at. So, like, I mean, God, who knows?
But that's sort of what I worry about when game budgets and just game scope are ballooning to an excessive degree, that it will focus too much on like looking realistic and looking like groundbreaking as much as it could be. When I think that doesn't necessarily get in the way of a game being fun, but when the only trailer they've shown off, and maybe it's because the gameplay like isn't finished, but the fact that all they've shown off is maybe not cutscenes, but like just characters, animation, their movements and stuff. None of it being a gameplay trailer. Granted, you always get a gameplay trailer like after, like that's normally the second trailer you get. But I'm worried for the game. I mean, quite honestly, like I really like Grand Theft Auto. I play a ton of GTA 5, and I played a ton of it. Actually, we have a weekly show that's now on Saturday nights on this Twitch channel, on BHultra Live, where we play GTA every week leading up to the release of the new game. And that was, like, going to be, like, 30 weeks or something. Yeah, now it's going to equal, like, 47 weeks or 54 weeks in total. So there's a lot to do in that game. But it's weird. For me, it's not like a Pokemon or like 3D Mario situation where it's one of my favorite series. Like, I love playing GTA Online. I love playing GTA 5. But not to the degree where I'm like, oh man, I need to play GTA 6. Like, oh, that's the game I'm looking forward to the most. I'm in the same... I'm hype as everyone else because it's been so long. It's sort of the same things whenever I talk about Smash Bros. It's like, yeah, I want like Isaac Goldenson in the game. I've never played his game, but I've just like heard about him so often in these circles that it's like, yeah, you know, from a completion standpoint, I would like to see it. So the idea of like GTA 6 coming out in my lifetime, I like GTA 5, so I was hoping like it would be a big deal. I would take off an entire month and just stream that and not do any video that month. And now I like to plan really far in advance for my videos, and now I don't know what I'm doing June of next year, so I guess I gotta figure that out. But as far as, like, I wanted to play it, I'm excited to play it, because it is a Rockstar game, and I really like these. And I think because they release so few, like, Rockstar-published games, that they are on a certain level. It's sort of like whenever Valve makes a new game that isn't, like, a Source version or a Source 2 version of an older game, or, like, Dota. Like, when Half-Life Alyx came out, not only was it a big deal because it was, you know, that was the final or the only selling point of the Valve Index, and also, you know, a new Half-Life game, but also like Valve hadn't made a dedicated like Valve game in a long while. I think that Nintendo sort of differs. Like my three favorites, not from a structure or company level, just from a game quality level, for me are always Nintendo, Rockstar, and Valve. And I like Nintendo's consistency when it comes to games. Granted, their individual series take a while for them to like get new ones in their cycle. So like each individual series more or less will have like one per console. So there is a sizable wait for that. But I think the quality when it comes to Rockstar or Valve is because there are so few games. So I thought that the game would be good, but not in the way that I'm like, oh man, I really need to play this game. Because quite honestly, like, I liked playing GTA Online, and it's really just an excuse for me to play GTA Online on stream. But ever since, like, we talked about it on the pod, I haven't thought about that game at all.
Interesting. Yeah, you know, I find myself, like, in this, like, psychological space, if that makes sense, where, like, being hyped for something isn't worth it.
Interesting.
Like, in the sense of... You know, it's funny. I think there have been times where, especially when I was younger, I would make a lot of videos. And when I would make those videos, it's because there's like nothing happening regarding like new video games. Yeah. And like,
we've certainly had episodes of this podcast where it's just like, hey, what have you been doing this week?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think like often, you know, especially when I was younger, like there would be times where like the only thing I cared about was like a game that's coming out in a few weeks.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think as I've gotten older, like maybe I just don't have the time, or maybe I just kind of like built myself out of the habit. Like spending that much time being excited for something, it just isn't for me. You know, like
right.
If that makes sense. I think because of that, like usually just nowadays games just come out and I'm like, oh cool. Yeah. Like I guess. I remember like when Smash Bros. Ultimate was coming out, and I was just chomping at the bit for that game. You know what I mean? Where I would like be kind of stressed out because it's not out yet. And I think like often just redirecting that mental energy is just good in general. Like whether you're a fan or not, like it's just okay. Yeah, maybe Don't like get caught daydreaming about the game saving your life, because I think that's the thing people do, is they get just so excited, and then a game is a game and it has like the good things about a game and sometimes the annoying things about a game, and it's like, yeah,
what
it's a
I've
game. Like,
realized in my adult life is that the difference when it comes to like excitement is in being an adult is that you kind of need to like make it for yourself. And I did this last month when it came to Halloween. You know, Halloween is a big deal, and it's really exciting when you're a kid because there's constantly Halloween specials on the TV. And not only am I not a kid anymore, but also, you know, I don't have cable. So I personally curated a list of like Halloween episodes and movies that I wanted to watch leading up to Halloween. Earlier this year, leading up to like new Karate Kid and new Final Destination, a new Mission Impossible, a new Jurassic Park. I've watched all of those individual movies leading up to that. I kind of did it with Predator, and I saw Predator Badlands this weekend, and if we have time, I'll talk about it later. And it's the same thing with video games, where now that I'm streaming, I think, oh, okay, I have this many weeks until this game comes out. I want to play the series leading up to it. And honestly, like, before I streamed, like, even now, I'm kind of just a Nintendo guy, but prior to streaming, it was actually just, like, Mario and Pokemon. Like, I did not delve that far out of it.
Wow.
So, I think it was 2021, ahead of Dread, I played Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion for the first time on stream.
I love Fusion.
In 22, ahead of Bayonetta 3, which I didn't even end up playing. I played Bayonetta 1 and 2. And then 2023, when most of like the current chatter showed up, it's because I was doing all summer long, I was doing Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 leading up to 4. So there's a surprising amount of games that I haven't played. So when it comes to GTA 6, like, if I wasn't streaming and just going about my day-to-day life, I probably wouldn't have been thinking about it as much. But the fact that now I have, like, a built-in ticking clock. Even last year I had the show where I would play a different Switch game before the release of the Switch 2. And similarly, like, if I wasn't streaming or wasn't making the hype for myself, like, purposefully facilitating that, I would probably just get it whenever I could and then play it in my bed. But I wanted to make a big thing out of it, so I invited a bunch of people over. We got Switchy to come to my house, and we played the Switch on, like, release weekend, and it was a lot of fun. And I think is even that as an adult, you sort of have to make an effort to force yourself to be excited by facilitating infrastructure around you to do so. In my experience, at least.
Yeah.
Before we hop into the new Nintendo Store app, I'd like to cover some quotes that have been circulating from Nintendo's corporate briefing, two of which interest me. One of which, and this is just a link to the... I wanted to point this out in particular, too, is the thumbnail used that links to the article that... Let's see. I've seen a ton of people run with this quote, saying that after the success of the first Mario movie, that we're likely to get a Nintendo movie each year, which is kind of what the image is implying as well. Granted, we do know, again, like the image, the next two movies, the Super Mario Galaxy movie and the Zelda movie, will be releasing in 2026 and 2027, respectively. But I don't think that this quote actually tells us anything. All it says is Nintendo's president said, "We are continuing to prepare the ongoing release of movies in the future." Which, again, we kind of knew. We had to assume they were going to keep making movies anyway. This is possible that we could get a movie each year, but all the quote really tells us is that they're making more movies, which we knew.
Yeah, where's the assumption coming from that means a new movie each year? That doesn't make any sense.
I guess people just really want that. Because I know when the first Mario movie came out and it did well, I saw two camps fighting back and forth about the prospect of, like, either literally or metaphorically, like a Smash Bros. Crossover shared universe movie. And there were two arguments. I mean, there were arguments for and there were arguments against. And I saw a lot of people saying, like, oh, we don't need another shared universe. But I, like, even since I was a kid, I really liked crossovers. I guess it stems from, like, Smash Bros. Brawl. And I guess a couple months back, maybe earlier in the year, I was excited about the prospect. I'm like, oh, no, it could be done well. And then I was a little disappointed with Peacemaker's lackluster ending to Season 2. That now that it has to tie into, like, the Superman universe, it's kind of shackled by that. And I can understand why people wouldn't want to see a shared universe, because then you're really holding back the writers or people working on the movie to really make it the best they want to be. Granted, if a shared universe or a theme park or a line of films is the only way we can get films of certain Nintendo franchises, then I'm all on board for it. And I also, honestly, I kind of just like the idea of a shared animated universe. That's never really been done yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue some of the Pixar cameos and stuff. I mean, I think the reason I always kind of wrote off the idea of a shared universe is that, like, they could definitely make a Mario movie. They have. They could definitely make a Zelda movie, which they're doing, although it's not going to be animated. But theoretically, they probably could do an animated movie.
I think they should, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. But, like, maybe you could make, I mean, most other franchises that you might be able to make movies, but it wouldn't be at the scale of Mario. And just because, I mean, Mario, what's the word? Like, it towers over most other gaming franchises.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as much as I love Metroid, you definitely couldn't make a movie like on the scale of the Mario Bros. Movie with Metroid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what we were saying about the the Pikmin
Yeah.
short as well. Is like, I think Pikmin are going to be their minions or something, where they're going to be used as like shorts opening the film, but I don't think we would see like a Pikmin movie or series.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could be wrong if they kind of advertise it not necessarily as just a video game tie-in, as just a whole new property. But even then, like, I mean, I don't know. I think, like, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get the same amount of effort and like budget for, like, you know, as I said, like a Pikmin movie or like an F-Zero movie. You know what I mean? I think
First movie
like,
to make $0. F-$0. Oh, has anyone said that yet? Has anyone made this joke yet?
I mean, yeah, they could do, like, they might be able to do movies, but so, I mean, it's not like every movie has to be like hundreds of millions of dollars, but it would be advertised and sold at a scale much less than the Mario movie. And I don't know. I feel like there might be something weird about doing that, but I don't know. I'm not the one making these decisions.
I mean, the only franchise I can see coming close to like Mario and Zelda levels that isn't inherently tied to Mario. Like there's been rumors or talks about a Donkey Kong spin-off movie, which I assume will have the same budget. The only other series I could see possibly even having that same budget is maybe Kirby.
That'd be fun.
Not including something like Pokemon, which is a very separate entity, because that's its own beast. So
yeah, Pokemon's a whole different
I think
model.
Kirby's definitely the only one that can probably even come close to that. And even then, that's stretching it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, very cynically, when it comes to these shared universes or like cinematic worlds, the easiest way to look at what they're doing is by looking at a theme park that tracks with like Star Wars, Marvel, any of the Universal. Like, it's, again, cynically, they exist for the theme parks. I know that's not literally true, but I think that's an easy barometer to look off of it. And I think it bleeds through in both the movies and the games, that now that Nintendo has this theme park, both in like Japan and it's at Universal Studios too, right? I think that
they have something at Universal.
They have like a Mario World and like a DK minecart ride, and there's little Pikmin hidden around. I think that's a good way to judge like what things are going to be made into movies. And I think we know that Bonanza has been in development for a while, but it does kind of seem, at least from a release standpoint, that in doing this theme park, they realize like, oh yeah, like Donkey Kong, people like Donkey Kong, we should probably do more stuff with this. So he had a sizable role in the movie and also his own dedicated game. I know that isn't literally what happened because the timeline doesn't match up, but it feels like that. And I think I don't want to be reductive when it comes to 2D games, because people were like that for so long when it came to like a platformer, like a top-down game. Like when 3D games were becoming the big thing, even like into the GameCube era, it's like anything that was 2D was seemed as less than, like, oh, this isn't a modern game. So I don't want to sound like that. However, and I'm sure the upcoming Yoshi game will be good. Like, it looks fun at the very least. I went through the September Direct that we did, and it does look like it has a lot of Rayman DNA in it. But I thought previous to that game that like, oh, they did this big sort of pseudo revival for Donkey Kong to get people's interest back in the character that they own. And I thought the same thing was going to happen with Yoshi. Maybe not literally be like a 3D Yoshi game, but something like that. So either the game is lackluster and I'm like, oh, Yoshi deserves better. Or the game's good and just Yoshi games just don't do very well, which is also likely.
I mean, I'm like very, very cautiously optimistic because I was looking forward very much to Crafted World, and that might be like one of my biggest disappointments, which is crazy because it's not even like that big of a deal, but like,
well, I don't blame you.
I love Woolly World. Woolly World was great, and then going from Woolly World to Crafted World, and then like not a lot of people know like all the little differences between those two, but like there's a feeling to playing Woolly World versus Crafted World, and it just feels, everything feels off in Crafted World. Nothing feels like it flows together.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is so monotonous and repetitive and tedious, and it's just like, why do I have to do this? Why are you making me do this? This is like anti-game design right now.
It's trying to piss me off. Well, it doesn't help that the game was like announced in 2017 and then released early 2019, which is strange for a game of that caliber. Not just saying that Yoshi doesn't deserve pomp and circumstance, but all the other games that were announced in 2017 either came out that year or the year after. That game got delayed for some purpose. The second quote, when it comes to...
not good.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, it's like, it is weird that that game is the one that got the delay, and the output is what we got.
Yeah.
Given that it's a fine game on the surface, but then there's so many little cracks that are just formed deep within.
It doesn't
that
feel
makes
like
you
a
wonder
world.
what happened behind the scenes that made it so that it was delayed for so long and came out to this.
They had to have been running
And
that
the
shit
music
like
is
the Navy.
terrible.
Ooh, and that's worst of all when it comes to Yoshi. I think the same applies to Sonic, is that even the worst Sonic games have good music, which is why Sonic Boom's the worst one, because it doesn't even have good music. It just is bad from top to bottom.
There's no redeeming qualities.
No. Well, I love... Well,
I mean, is it worse than Dark Brotherhood?
I don't even remember. What is that?
Which,
oh,
is
that's
that
the
one
RPG one, right?
That's the DS RPG game.
Yeah, with the bad music. Well, at least...
Yeah.
I don't know. That game might be more fun to play. I haven't actually played it.
It's not. It's
Okay.
really not.
Have you guys ever seen that? Like, you know how there's those videos of like, 2 hours of comfy Nintendo music to help you study, like those
Yeah.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
There's like, I remember one time there's this video of like 1 hour of the worst Nintendo music to make your day worse or something like
Shrill.
that, and it's like all like the shittiest music in any. And I remember one of my favorite songs from that game was the night theme from Xenoblade Chronicles X, where it's just like, I don't know, I don't think either. I don't know if Dan, have you played those games?
No, I haven't played Xenoblade.
Okay, but it's just such a meme in the fandom, and I just think it's such a funny idea for a video.
I'm a lot less combative now that like I have a proper platform, because when you're making videos to no one, you're like, oh, I'm gonna punch up, I'm gonna hit everyone. And I wouldn't make like a takedown video nowadays, but one of the first ones I made in like 2019 was I was talking about this one like Haydox video where I talked about Sonic games. And it's still, like, I haven't watched it in a while, but the premise pissed me off because it was like, oh, I'm going to prove that Sonic games are still majority good. And it did this by, like, separating them into good, bad, and okay categories. And then at the end, all the okay ones were lumped in with good. And it put, like, Sonic 06 in, like, okay. It's like, listen, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And then put it there. There were only, like, 2 games that he listed as bad Sonic games. And that video came out, like, years before I made a video on it. I was just festering on it for so long. And I still think about it.
Haydox is wild. Like, that whole story with Haydox is wild.
I just know that he went away. I didn't hear a whole lot of it. I felt bad when I initially did it or afterwards, but I didn't hear anything after that.
I just remember seeing a video like on his feed after like years of radio silence. It just like, I'm done on YouTube. I became, what did he say, like a monk or something?
Is that what he said?
Is that what he said?
Wow.
Something along those
He
lines.
wasn't born again,
And then
he
he's
became a
like,
monk?
I'm deleting this video soon. But just so you know, I'm all good. I'm happy. And I live in a field now.
Wow.
Wow.
That really is the good
Never-
ending for YouTubers, I guess.
There is like, I feel like there's probably few franchises that people go in as in depth and try to get as like quantitative as possible when arguing about as like Sonic.
Yeah, it's
You know
always
what
like
I
a
mean?
percentage thing and less of like a feeling thing.
Like what you just described, it reminds me of like back in the early 2010s. I remember someone making a list of every Taylor Swift song and like highlighting the ones that were about breakups, and that like they determined that like 30 to 40% of the songs were about breakups, and they used that as like evidence against the claim that all Taylor Swift songs are about breakups. And I remember like seeing that, and I'm like, okay, but that's still like a third of all her songs.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I feel
a
like
lot.
that's still like I feel like it's still a fair observation that she sings about breakups a lot. Not that that's necessarily a bad
And
thing.
that doesn't really take into
But-
account the density on certain albums. Because, like, if an album,
Yeah.
if most of those songs fall on one album, that's basically an entire album about that.
Yeah.
She didn't sing about that teenager she dated when she was like 20-something. All right, moving on.
I don't
The
think she
second
did.
quote about this, because what did I say? It's quarter 2 of the fiscal year of like 2025 into 26. So Nintendo met with a lot of investors. The second quote, which I find more interesting, I want to see if I have it. I don't know if I have the exact quote, but this is the Wario64 post that says, "Going forward, Nintendo will shift its primary development focus to Nintendo Switch 2 and expand its business around the new platform." And I think this points to what we expected, that we've been getting directs all year made up of both Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 announcements, and we still don't even have a launch window for Rhythm Heaven beyond 2026. I mean, we forget because of the fun we've been having, but even like Legends ZA is still a Switch 1 game. It just also has a Switch
Yeah.
2 edition.
Right.
I think we postulated previously that we wouldn't stop seeing Switch 1 games until 2027. And I think that this quote points to that, because we know there's Switch 1 games coming out in 26. I also think, and this is me reading way too far into it, that the quote sort of carries like disappointment. Like they sort of knew they were unprepared for a huge launch of the console, or rather aren't ready to like let the Switch 1 go until there's a safer install base on the new hardware. But it did feel like that. Like, even to the degree where when the Switch 1 came out, it was immediately hitting the ground running. We still got announcements in directs for 3DS games for like the first 2 years. I think it was Bowser's Inside Story remake was the final 3DS game in 2018 or 2019.
And that was like the tail end of 2018. Yeah, that was like December 27th.
Yeah, so it's a safe bet to say that we wouldn't stop hearing about Switch 1 games in their entirety until 27, because next year we have Tomodachi Life and Rhythm Heaven. I'm sure there's like some other thing. I think Yoshi and Mario Tennis are both Switch 2 exclusives.
They are.
Okay.
Well, Mario Galaxy, that was a Switch 1 thing.
Yeah.
The Galaxy Collection, that was Switch 1 technically. So, I mean, the other thing we have to keep in mind is that when Switch released with Wii U and more importantly 3DS, you know, there were games there that you really couldn't play on the Switch. Like the games that released on the 3DS, you really couldn't play on the Switch. So it's more like, you know, it was more like winding down the console life. But because this is a direct, like, sequel to the Switch, because it's built on the Switch architecture, I could see it going for possibly even a little longer than what we originally said. I mean, I'm not saying there will be, like, Switch 1 exclusives. That being said, I could see them going down the line of making Switch 1 versions of Switch 2 games, because
That'd be
let's not
crazy.
forget, like, they made, like, back in like the PS3 era, they made tons of PS2 versions of games, like games that you would play on the lower version console.
That's
Like,
true.
wasn't there a PS2 version of Sonic Unleashed?
Maybe. I know
I
that
think
like
so, yeah.
Just Dance 2020 released on the Wii, and that was like the final Wii U game.
Well, that's like very different because that's Just Dance, and
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's like a whole other can of worms right there. But yeah, no, that's also a fair point.
I think also,
funny,
well, what
though.
you're saying, the idea of like having Switch 1 edition games and Switch 2 games, I think the equivalent they have is that you can do game chat or game share with Switch 2 games with people who have the Switch 1, but it's only like Bonanza where you can... What does Player 2 and Bonanza do? They're Pauline and they throw rocks.
She sings rocks.
Right,
at
she
people.
shouts rocks at people, yeah. So I think that's like their half measure. It's like, oh, if you have a Switch 1, you could play with your friend who has the Switch 2, and you could play as
Some
Pauline
DS download play shit.
and throw rocks around. Yeah, that... And also, I don't know what I thought the window was for Switch 2 editions, but it does... This is very much just the continuation of the Switch. I mean, I should have assumed that from the title, but how many Switch 1 games are continuing development, and even like into next year, other than the new games coming out. We know that Mario Wonder is getting a Switch 2 edition, and now we know that Animal Crossing is getting a Switch 2 edition, and that was a 2020 game. That's like pretty, I think that's the earliest, well, I guess Breath of the Wild would be the earliest Switch 1 game getting a Switch 2 edition. Do we think there's any other, like from the entirety of the Switch 1, I guess my question is, how long do you think they're going to keep up Switch 2 editions? Do you think this is going to be a thing that's going to happen throughout the entirety of the Switch 2's lifespan, or do you think it's only going to be like the first 2 or 3 years?
I think
that's a really good question, actually.
That is a good question. I think the only other thing I'm very certain that we're going to get a Switch 2 edition of, if we don't get a direct sequel, is Mario Maker 2.
Ooh, okay. With mouse controls?
If we don't get a, if we don't get a direct sequel, then I imagine we're going to get... See, that'd be cool. I like that a lot. But knowing them, they'll give us a 3D Land thing to work with instead.
Oh, that's awesome. That's what Speaking of 3D Land, when we were watching the Direct, there was that one... I forget who it was, but there was a credible leaker who said, like, oh, this upcoming Direct has 77777, and it ended up being Resident Evil 7, Final Fantasy 7, and Dragon Quest 7.
Puro.
Yeah. And I remember somebody saying, like, oh, man, it's going to be the 7th 3D Mario. And the way they counted it was by counting 3D World, but not 3D Land. And I'm like, listen, we got to count. It's either none or both of them. You can't choose to only count this one. So that way it fits the number. It's not relevant at all. I just remember it upsetting me. But
I remember being very upset it was not Ace Attorney 7. I remember that being a big one.
Ooh, yeah.
That there's... I think the idea of the console is that it ultimately will just kind of eventually play every Nintendo thing. I was thinking about this because obviously I've been researching older videos to finally finish my Smash series, that for a while, except for the pandemic year, every September, they added a new console to Nintendo Switch Online. And I think of the September Direct is when they added Virtual Boy, which is stupid, but they did add it. And I was wondering if you guys think that's going to keep going, or do you think it's going to cap out at GameCube? Because that would also go in line with, like, are they going to keep upgrading Switch 1 games? Is this going to be like the perfect hub for all of their Nintendo games?
Well, so the only other one I can think of, and this is all completely based on if that peripheral leak is true or not, is the DS. That's like the only other one I can possibly think of.
The peripheral leak of combining 2 Switches? Or are you thinking about a different one? That's crazy.
No, I think it's like an additional screen. I don't know exactly how it works, but like... I think that would be like the only other one, and that would be a peripheral I would not mind, because that is like, that would be playing. It's very hard for me, particularly, to play DS games emulated. I feel like I need, and 3DS too. I feel like I need.
It drives me crazy.
It drives on the hardware.
The 3DS games are really rough.
That specifically, I need to play on the hardware, because like, it's an experience and you're not playing it the way it's intended, and it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So if they were able to do something with that, that could work. And I still think the Virtual Boy thing is BS. That is the
my opinion hasn't changed on that. It's still stupid.
Ever. Possibly.
Right.
What I first thought was that you could play it without the peripheral. Like you could just kind of emulate the Virtual Boy games so you don't get a fucking headache.
Yeah, that's
that
like
a smart thing to do.
And that would have been so cute and kitschy and fun. And then they're like, oh yeah, you also have to pay $100 to play like the worst console ever. It's like, okay, no thanks.
Or $70 for cardboard.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I'm okay with the lineup we have now, as long as they're still like concurrently releasing ROMs for them. I think because I wanted to actually look back at this, because I want to make like a little Photoshop image guide of all of the Nintendo made games for individual consoles that we don't have all the games for yet. And what I noticed in the NES games is that all the ones that are missing from Nintendo Switch Online require either Rob or the Zapper Gun or the Playpad. There was one that was only released in America that requires the fucking AVGN Playpad. But then also, they just don't have Star Tropics 2. There's no reason that one isn't on there.
That is so funny.
But everything else is like that. But I do think that it's sort of a missed opportunity to not use the mouse controls on the Zapper games for either Super Nintendo or Nintendo Entertainment System. Because I think those consoles, like sometimes we get third-party ones like Mega Man or Bubsy, but as far as NES and Super Nintendo ROMs go on the Switch, I think we have basically everything we need. But N64 still feels kind of lackluster, and GameCube we have like 5 or 6 games right now.
Well, they are like definitely leaning into the fact that Switch 2 has mouse controls, at least with the SNES. That's why we got Mario Paint and Mario and Wario, which is cool.
Yes.
And that other game that's like a... but I don't know. It is a little weird that they are very, very slowly releasing N64 games at this point. Especially since, like, what are they waiting for on DK64? Like, what is their like idea behind
they don't want everyone to find out
that?
how bad it is.
Well, I think like everyone has, and this happened with Smash Speculation 2. That's like, oh, they're gonna release it this day to tie into this thing. But I don't know if, other than I guess Bubsy, I don't know if any of the Virtual Console or Nintendo Switch Online releases have lined up with anything in particular. Have they?
Well, Luigi's Mansion was like October 30th. So
sure, but I mean like a major like release of
sense.
Theirs.
That is a good question. Maybe did they release the other Mario Advance games on an anniversary, or was that just a batch drop randomly?
I don't know, but I know that they are on the Switch.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I think it's mainly... I saw some people posting about the prospect of having original Xbox games on the Switch too, because that Microsoft just kind of looks like it's going under. Did Banjo NSO correlate with Banjo Smash? No, that was way after. We're not way after, but that was definitely after. Because N64 was September 21, was it not?
Who knows?
Banjo was summer of 19. Because it went... NES was 2018, Super Nintendo was 19, there was nothing in the pandemic year, and then Game Boy and N64 were 21, and then I think
Game Boy Advance and Game Boy were at the same time. I know that, because they announced them at the same time.
Okay, so maybe Game Boy Advance were 21.
But I think N64 came before... N64 came before Game Boy, because that was when they announced the expansion pack, and then they announced Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, and they said Game Boy will be on the regular and Advance will be on the expansion pack.
Yeah. God, these are out of order.
Stupid ass delineation.
Okay, well, circling back, while we're talking about the movies, my notes don't really apply here because we stopped talking about the movies, but while we're talking about the movies, it seems Yoshi's design and the presence of Bowser Jr. were leaked, again, because of the Pillsbury cookie box, I believe is what this is. Unrelated, but the holiday ones are legitimately the only ones I get of this, just because it's very nostalgic for me. And I feel like we saw Yoshi on the Old Spice can, didn't we? He was also there?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to keep happening, and I only had that written down getting ready to like set up this pod, and then our correspondent Dan sent me this that Nintendo tweeted out an hour before we started. Join us Wednesday, November 12th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Nintendo Direct featuring the world premiere of the Super Mario Galaxy movie official trailer. I love world premiere of the official trailer. Please note that no game information will be included in this presentation. Now,
damn.
We ask this a lot when it comes to Nintendo this year. Do you think this was always the plan? Or do you think they scrambled to do this really quickly?
I think they probably... I don't know. I mean, I imagine, now that you say this, like, with those kinds of leaks, I imagine it's not uncommon for, like, companies to start getting, like, promotional material, and they're, like, supposed to start dropping it around the same time as big announcements. So, I mean, I think the fact that there was, like, a Pillsbury leak, like, a couple days before the Direct, I think it's pretty likely, actually, that they're just planning to do stuff once the Direct comes out. And Pillsbury, someone just leaked it a couple days early.
I hope they announced the cookies in the Direct.
Yeah, right.
Did they say how long the Direct is going to be, or they just is a Direct?
Well, I mean, last time they did this, it was like 10 minutes because they did like behind the scenes stuff. But like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're going to do it again because everything that's been said is already, unless they're going to do like reveals for the new actors like Bowser Jr. and Rosalina
They're gonna
and
recast Mario.
possibly Wario if the leaks are true.
Oh, there's even more leaks. I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, because now that we know Bowser Jr. is involved, now I'm thinking, because there was a leak like a month or two ago. It's like, oh, now Wario is in this, and ooh, he's mad. He's going after Mario.
Why is he mad at Mario? What did Mario do?
I don't know.
Mario
He,
is missing.
how does that Rental Floss song go? Stole his castle or something?
Oh yeah. Let's ask him. Let's call him up and ask. Let's get him to weigh in on this.
Phone a friend.
Well, I think this quote direct is going to be like Miyamoto's going to be like, and now the trailer, and it's going to show the trailer, and then the direct is going to end. I don't expect anything else from this.
I mean,
What
do
I'm
you think we're
saying,
getting another like live stuff with Charlie Day and Chris Pratt being like jumping on Koopas and yeah.
collecting Lumas. Yeah, no. Basically, what I'm saying is that I'm not waking up for this. It's gonna be a trailer, and I'll see it. Granted, I guess we can move around the stuff we're gonna talk about. We can get into the Nintendo Store app soon. Speaking of not waking up for things, the main announcement, or rather the main presentation that happened between episodes of Switch 2 Ultra, was the trailer on November 6th about Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension. Now, you guys are probably much farther in Pokemon Legends ZA than I am. I will say that since last time I have seen... I saw Mega Chandelure, and we'll get to our Mega designs once I've seen all of them. I think I'm still waiting on Mega Pyroar. I also saw Mega Fallings. So once I see Mega Pyroar, we'll gather back and we'll compare notes. But pretty decent predictions. But I have said that my entire time in ZA, I have been doing my best to rush through the game, or just run through it, dedicate so many hours on stream, so that I would not get spoiled, right? I would not see the designs immediately. This trailer, it was 2 p.m. GMT, I think that was pretty early for us. So I said, like, oh, I'll just watch it when I start stream. I don't need to do anything else that day, so I'll just get in the shower and do it. And then in my quest to post a tweet about something else in its entirety, I only saw 3 things, and I was like, okay, thank God. I got out almost unscathed. I really danced my way through that bullet storm. I only saw Karina, Mega Chimecho, and Mega Excalibur. And I was like, surely those aren't the only things.
Those are the only megas that were shown off.
Yeah, those are the only things we saw in the trailer. So let's jump into this trailer, actually. And as I was watching it, I was like, fuck, they did it again. They got me again. I don't know if it's particularly the people I follow. I might just have to mute the word Pokemon. But...
You might, at this point.
There's a handful that I still haven't seen. I still know nothing about Mega Pyroar. I think I've seen... There's one I've seen on my feed that I haven't seen in the game yet, but I forget what it was. I guess that's probably good, though. We don't get a whole lot of... Also, the default... What's her name? The Hoopa one, Ansha? What do you think her deal is?
I don't know. She's a mysterious trainer who gets along with the friggin' legendary Pokemon.
She's the self-insert.
I think she's the ghost girl from the tower in Pokemon X and Y. If you know,
oh, bro, that'd be so freaking cash. I would love that, actually.
That'd be awesome.
Bring it full circle.
Perfect.
I mean, this quote Mega Dimension, which is an entirely new dimension, is still like it's just an inverse Lumio city, and that's fine.
It looks stupid.
Yeah, that's well and good. But I think
Minecraft.
Yeah, man, from Minecraft, from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that, these larger boss fights, that, I thought early on when it came to, first of all, my initial excitement about Legends ZA, I was like, oh man, there's so many places in Kalos that we haven't seen up to their full potential. And then it was announced, by the way, very clearly Berserker down here. I mean, even if it is just Galarian and Meowth, we know it evolves into Berserker, because it has the steel type advantage down here. I didn't look far into this, but I'm pretty sure that the donut thing, I saw people comparing it to the Donkey Kong Emerald Rush, that it's sort of like a roguelike that you can level up over time. Also, interesting thing here, that when it comes to any Pokemon DLC, and this is coming out relatively quickly, like when it was first announced, I was like, oh my god, the game isn't even out yet, we can't breathe. But this coming out less than a month... Wait, no, it's coming out in December, so I guess 2 months after the game's release is a pretty quick turnaround when it comes to Pokemon DLC coming out after the game comes out. But I think the issue I've run into, or the issue other people have had, when it comes to Pokemon DLC specifically, and maybe I'm just like talking to other adults that play these games, that by the time the DLC comes out, your team is already like super over leveled. The scaling is way off, especially with the Sword and Shield DLC that technically takes place in the middle of the game, so everything's kind of at like level 30. That it's a real problem that obviously you can't break. There are very set in stone rules when it comes to Pokemon. And Legends EA breaks a lot of rules when it comes to the way the game is played, but that at the end of the day, you could still only have 4 moves in a battle, and you can only go up to level 100. And I think the way they go about this, by having the different boss fights go past that, and then probably when you catch them, they'll default back to 100. Which one is it? I'm looking for the image of the Primeape that they posted. Yeah, this one here, where this little boss fight says a level 142. I really like this. I like that the boss is like, even if your Pokemon are level, it looks like it's tearing here too. Even if your Pokemon are level 100, there's still going to be difficulty because the Alpha or Mega, the different dimension Pokemon you're fighting are going to be stronger. That's an interesting way to go about it and get around it. Because I have really, really loved ZA, what I've played of it. I haven't really, even like the more I play it, I haven't really run into any issues. The only thing is that I wish it had the camp mechanics, or even like being able to bring all your Pokemon out like in Legends Arceus. I understand why you can't do that, but that's really the only thing I ever ran into.
You can do that.
Well, you could sit on a bench and look at them, but that's really that's the extent of what you can do.
You can't just like throw them out and like fuck with them like you could in Arceus.
Or even like the camp mechanic where you can like pet them or like throw a ball around. Like the bench, they do just spawn in. Like you can't do much with them. And especially if you're trying to like take a picture of your entire team, sometimes they're just out of the frame.
Right. I like the cafes where you sit down and then just the Pokemon is staring intensely at you while you're drinking your coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of photo opportunities, but not a lot of interesting things to do with those photos. Evolution. Other than is that it's either, popular Pokemon, your Salamence, your Tyranitar, or whatever, that are just getting even more epic and even more cool. And then the other half are Pokemon that didn't really have their time to shine in the limelight. And every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. Chimecho is not my favorite, but that was always one that I said I liked more than most. Because when I was a kid, I think in like the getting close to the end game of Diamond and Pearl, anything that was a higher level than me, I would immediately catch and put on my team. So I caught a Chimecho on Mount Coronet, like going up to go battle and then catch Dialga. And for that period of time, I'm like, dude, I'm going to get this Chimecho on my Elite Four team. Like, this guy's like carrying my team right now. So I hold a lot of allegiance towards Chimecho. The same kind of applies to Lumineon. These are Pokemon that I think most people don't think about. Similarly, I don't care about Excalibur at all. I forgot he existed for a second. But I'm glad Chimecho's getting one because I love Chimecho.
Yeah, Chimecho evolution makes me really happy.
I couldn't find the exact sources, but of course after this, like after every major Pokemon trailer, and we do have a lot of information. I could purchase now directly from the website. A lot of information on the website, and we see these new Megas now. Are getting anything from these? Dragon Ice, 611, Psychic Steel. This makes sense. That I know there's additional.
Oh, it's Psychic Steel. That's useful. Yeah,
I think was it not like was it Pure Steel before?
No, Chimecho was just pure Psychic, I think.
Oh, sorry, that's what. Yeah. That I know there have been official runners. We're just gonna jump over to Cerebi, and the main things I wanted to go over real quick is now we have proper renders of both Mega Meganium, Mega Feraligatr, and Mega Emboar, which will help the images we used when we combined the Megas last time, where they were all like clipping out of frame and they looked really bad. Granted, I think the Mega Meganium render looks a lot better than the official Mega Feraligatr render. It does just kind of look like it's attached.
Yeah, because Mega Meganium looks like they're posing, and then Mega Feraligatr just is standing there.
Yeah, I guess like you should do a profile shot so you can see what's on the shell.
No swag.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to say it.
It's so bad.
Meganium has really proven everyone wrong. Granted, I picked Emboar, and I think Emboar's the best decision. That's also why we have the three of us on here, because we all chose different starters.
I'm still not over the fact that what the DLC is basically they just Symphony of the Nighted us.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say, too, is that, like, what I wanted to see in Legends ZA was a bunch of Kalos stuff, and it's like, oh, Hoopa, and even, you know, potentially Volcanion. I don't know how that's gonna go. Have ties to these individual areas in Kalos, like the train station, and Volcanion's sort of tied to the power plant that we still can't get into. And when I heard about Legends Z, I'm like, oh, we can finally go to those places or see what they were supposed to be. But then this game is shackled to Lumio City. I don't think Lumio City is a bad map for this game, but there are a lot of... I'm also noticing here, is it like this in the real game, that the level is highlighted in yellow? Is it normally like that?
No, I don't think so.
Remember.
I think some people were theorizing that the being super high level is like a temporary thing.
Right,
I think
because
that might
this...
be it. I think like it might be yellow when it's a when you're like kind of juicing up your Pokemon.
Yeah,
because
this Marowak is level 164, so maybe our Pokemon can also surpass level 100.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
That's a fun idea.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's a Secrets of Hyperspace. We're getting a lot of different spaces. Maybe it is like a roguelike. I mean, if there was any Pokemon game to be like that, it would be this. And do we see the official art at the end? Oh yeah, this too. Where is it? I'm gonna steal
we got that as well.
Cerebi
I
details.
just did that after I just beat the game a few days ago.
Do you need to beat the game to do it?
Yeah, you need to beat the game to get it.
Okay. New Pokemon Legends ZA mystery gift has been announced to start today. Get via the internet. It's a little mission after the game, right?
You can redeem it before you beat the game.
Okay.
But you won't be able to like activate the mission until you beat the game.
Is it a time-based mission, or can you just do it once you have the stone?
Well, no, you get the stone during the mission. So it's not like... Or wait, no. I don't actually remember. Maybe you don't get the stone during the mission. Maybe you buy it in like the store or something, and then
there isn't like a time frame on this Diancie, at least that I know.
Well, you need a time frame of getting it like from the mystery.
Yeah, the mystery gift release
before it expires. But then after that, I think you're good.
Yeah, because on... I guess it was last Tuesday, maybe, or maybe the Tuesday before. It was legitimately the final day to do the Greninja ranking. I was like, okay, I have to do this immediately because I don't want to miss the opportunity. And I didn't even, like, this had not occurred to me. I assumed it was going to be exclusive to the DLC. So I'm kind of glad that it isn't. And I think that's what this is saying, is that you can get the Baxcalibur... Oh, actually, you could probably get Baxcalibur right by competing in Season 4 and getting to, like, rank K or something. But you can't catch Baxcalibur until you have the DLC. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we have these seasons. I don't mind this. I've always said that I like that a game incentivizes you to keep playing it. Like, even getting an Animal Crossing update in, was it January of next year? And those Mario Sports games that, like, slowly drip characters out slowly. However, that upcoming, was it Mario Tennis Fever, I think has all the characters from Mario Tennis Aces. They might add more, who knows. But the idea of adding these, you get the Mega Delphox and the Mega Chestnut and Mega Baxcalibur. How do you guys feel about getting these Mega Stones in these online tournaments? Because I think I liked or disliked it initially as an idea, but once I like competed online, I actually really like this as a way to get Mega Stones. It incentivizes you to play online.
Yeah, I think you have to be like rank K to get it.
Yes.
I don't know what that implies exactly, like how good you have to be.
Which is worried, because I don't think I'm good at that.
It's not that hard.
I mean,
I also think you don't get penalized anymore for losing, right?
It's 4 people all competing, and you don't lose anything if you lose, but you only gain points if you come in first, second, or third. So even if you like totally fuck up, as long as you don't come in last, you will slowly get there eventually.
I'm okay with this only because these aren't required for 100%. Like if these were like taking up spaces on the Mega Decks, and I couldn't access them, I'd be very annoyed. But they don't, so I don't really have a problem with that. That being said, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have not give ranked a try at all because I've been too busy trying to like get everything else. So
yeah.
I've been too busy looking for the 100 colorful screws, so that took like a month.
Are there exactly 100?
Yeah, it's annoying.
I just assumed that. Oh, that makes sense. All I
Yeah,
did,
20 I
it's
haven't
not
gotten
fun.
yet.
I
And it's
leveled
not
up.
like I looked at did a guide, so I have no idea where I need to go.
I leveled up the
I
Canary
did a guide
plushes.
for like the last 5, and I missed one, and I had to do the guide all over again.
Yeah, I hate guides.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it's not the guide's fault, but like you have to reverse engineer which ones you've already gotten. You have to reverse engineer which ones you've already gotten by just circling back to all of them. That was the issue
Yeah,
with
it's
a
Mario
nightmare.
Kart for a while before they added that update.
Thank God they added that.
I
That
wonder if they're
was-
gonna do that with this game too, just eventually.
They won't. No, I don't
Well, then
feel like I
kind
don't
of-
feel like people usually do this kind of thing. I feel like that's part of the challenge. Or
The
maybe
good
it
news
shouldn't,
is, at least for TMs, if you want to get all the TMs, like if you know what TMs you have, which you should know,
Right.
then you already know where not to look if you're using a guide. So
Yes.
that's not
yeah,
an
there's not like a
issue.
list of you have colorful screw number 17. They don't.
Yeah,
do that.
exactly.
Well, especially because you trade them in. You don't keep the amount you have. You don't know how many you've gotten in total.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you
once you've gotten
do
all the plushies,
when
they
you
tell
get
you how
all
much you need to get
plushies,
left.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I have not gotten there then. What I was saying is that
So
I got the Canary plushes fully upgraded for experience and for mega shards. I haven't even bothered with the other ones yet. They did not seem important to me at the time.
Mine first 2 were experience and catching rate, which I gotta say I don't think changed all that much.
My experience with
I wonder because there were some Pokemon that just have like some bullshit catching rate that just drives me crazy, like Delibird.
I'm not going to say anything yet
Oh.
because I don't know how far into the game you are, but there's one Pokemon in particular that should not have as low a catching rate as it has, and it drove me insane.
but Switch, you're right. It took me like 30 tries to get delivered. I killed so many of them. They just would not get in there. But also
Is it pronounced Delibird? I guess
I-
that makes sense.
I know, right? But like nobody
Oh
ever
my
says
God,
that.
I never knew that.
I know.
I thought it was Delibird.
I know. I say this to everyone, and they have the same realization. I heard that one time, like a couple of years back, and I'm like, oh right, yeah. Why would it be called Delibird? I guess that makes sense.
I think they probably say Delibird in the anime.
Oh,
though.
probably in like Stadium or something.
Well, because that sounds better than Delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
once
like, okay,
once
well,
you
this
realize
is the
that every
pun,
Pokemon
but-
name is a pun, you can start to understand them a little better. Like Rayquaza, because it's a quasar. I think.
I never knew that. I is that true? I don't know.
I mean, that's what I call it. But with these Pokemon, so we know that there are 2. I imagine you get the Pikachu stones when you get the DLC. And the fact that Excalibur is listed here, I have to assume that Chimecho is listed after. It goes until Tuesday, November 25th. So these seasons last about a month, like give or take, maybe a little less. So the DLC releases in December. So let's assume that Chestnut's December and the Excalibur is January. How many more of these seasons do you think we're going to get? And do you think there's going to be new megas? Well, okay, on top of that, I guess we can cover... Where is it? Because there's additional images. Oh yeah, they tweeted this out. November 19th, we'll be sharing more info on Pokemon Legends ZA. So we have this image, which is really interesting, that we've seen Excalibur and Chimecho, and then there's one going to be announced on the 19th, and then there's another frame after it that says coming soon, and this was shown off on... When was this trailer? It was November 6th. So, sorry, Meganium jump scare. November 6th. And November 11th is... Yeah, that's a week after. So what day is the 11th?
That's November 9th.
Oh, my mistake, sorry. So the 6th... Okay, now I forgot. The 6th was Thursday, I think is a Wednesday. So I wonder if they're going to do every other week, because the actual release of the DLC is December 10th. What I'm getting at is, how many seasons do you think they're going to be? Do you think we're going to see new megas in the seasons as the game goes along?
I wonder. I mean, I doubt there's going to be more DLC past this, or maybe there will. I mean, that doesn't seem likely to me.
No, we don't
But
know exactly.
Now that you mention it, I'm like, kind of wondering.
We don't exactly know the scope of the DLC, but there are images like this of special donuts that were shown off on the website that look mighty.
I wonder what that's for.
Yeah, look mighty. Yeah, I think
It's clearly tying back to the Pokemon Pinball Ruby Sapphire.
I think this is red and blue, like Pokemon Red and Blue, because they're both red and blue. Also,
Might
this
be
is
about masculine
really
or something.
stretching the idea of what a donut is. Like, sure, fine, we'll allow it. Because they do have their megas. Okay, I don't want any real spoilers, but let me ask. I assumed going into Legends EA that every mega, let's not count, the Hoenn trilogy of the box legendaries. I assumed every mega that existed prior to ZA is in the game. Is that true, or are there some that are missing?
There are some that are missing.
Interesting. Okay. I wonder if those are going to be DLC
At least right now.
ones.
They might be in the DLC, though, yeah.
Because we think there's going to be new stuff in the DLC as well. Obviously, there's additional information when we... Do we not have the image? Yeah, this image released alongside Mega Dimension. Also, back here... I saw people saying that we might be able to see the different version of the protagonist, or the not antagonist, either Towny or Urbane when you're in the alternate dimension, but we see that they line up with the different gendered protagonists, so I think that's just meant to convey that. But someone did point out, let me actually get this name correct, so I'm not stealing. I think this is, Godmaster Bun on Twitter.com. Pointed out that they have the mega images of Mega Emboar, Mega Feraligatr. By the way, much better pose for Mega Feraligatr. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Where he's got his big dumb mouth open. And then we see Mega Meganium. But interestingly, Karina next to Lucario. Lucario isn't in his Mega form. Which leads some to believe that we may be getting another Lucario Mega form. Because it's only Pikachu, Mewtwo, and Charizard that have alternate ones, right? I think Lucario's up there with, like, the most popular Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, if they decide to do that for Lucario, like, that would make sense.
Technically, Greninja has a Mega and an Ash Greninja form. I'm just going off of anyone who's been in Smash Bros.
Mega.
Yeah. Sorry, wait, no, are they Mega Raichu or are they Mega Pikachu?
They're Mega Raichu. I
Mega
wasn't
Raichu.
going to say anything, but...
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's Mega Raichu.
Okay. There's a lot of speculation points. This person, Petrata Rock on Twitter, and this is the translation, of this guide that they made of the Mega Stones, the art of the Mega Stones that we've seen in different trailers, like the color schemes. I've seen a lot of this, like somebody trying to correlate what Pokemon will tie to what Mega Stone. And there are some that already have Mega Evolutions. Oh, actually, no, they don't. Never mind. My mistake. That we have seen stones that coincide with the new Pokemon. We have now seen Excalibur. We haven't seen Mega Chimecho's Mega Stone. But we have a selection here. Potentially, depending. Let me actually open this up in a different tab, and then maybe... I'm trying to frame this so we can see it. I don't want to zoom out too far, but... Okay, that might be too far. Let me zoom in, actually. Do the opposite. Which of these selections of 5 would you guys like to see? Well, let's start with the green one. This little green and red one. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be these Pokemon either.
Yeah. I think of all those Pokemon, my favorite is probably Mega Brel, not Mega Breloom, just Breloom.
That'd be fun.
Though honestly, if there was a Mega, I would kind of want Mega Yan Mega. What's it called? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There's Yanma and there's Yan Mega. Okay,
ridiculous name, but yeah.
They should give a Mega to Licky Licky and make his tongue even smaller.
It should just, and he gets bigger. It should just be like that. Yeah. What was it? The gold and silver beta design where he kind of looks like Hisuian Sliggoo, or wait, what is the final evolution? I'm forgetting now. Gudra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hisuian Gudra, where it's wearing like the gray shell. I mean, I think realistically, I hate Alomomola, by the way. I've made that very clear. I think realistically,
what does Alomomola ever do to you?
It's okay, fine.
Is that just a guy?
Yeah, what is that?
Like
yeah, who is that? Hold on. He doesn't. He gets a special Mega Stone.
It's Ditto. The
That'd
secret
be crazy.
Pokemon.
We're gonna put the protagonist to Pokepokia. Yeah, this doesn't account for what if this is just a Ditto, because the Excalibur Mega Stone, I guess it does look like the color scheme, but the reason I don't like Alomomola is when people talk about there being Pokemon tied to too many animals, or rather an animal that has too many equivalents. It makes sense for there to be different forms of Meowth in different generations, in different regions, because cats are so popular and there's so many different forms. Same goes for crabs, or any type of feline or underwater creature. Alomomola has a lot of different gimmicks that are already filled by other Pokemon, right? Its name is an anagram. Am I saying that right? It's not an anagram. It's a palindrome. My mistake. Its name is a palindrome, which we already have. Better, it's got nothing on Girafarig. Also, Do we need a second heart-shaped fish? Has the market not already been cornered when it comes to heart-shaped fish? Because I know what people say, right? There's a lot of Unovan Pokemon that are incredibly similar to their Cantonian forms. But let's scroll up here. Gigalith is nothing like Golem. This is just another heart-shaped fish. And I also know why, right? They didn't want to have any of the original generation Pokemon in black and white, and there needs to be a way to get heart scales. I understand that. That means the Pokemon exist only for a mechanic. I just hate Alomomola. I think it's so boring.
It has Regenerator, so I'm obliged to kind of like it because I like using Pokemon that have Regenerator because I like being an asshole.
None of that would be as bad if you just weren't such a bore. Sorry,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten a Mega Aegislash yet. Like, that seems like...
Yeah, looking at this, I'm surprised it's not even in the game. I felt that way about... It's not here, but I think it could be either this orange one, or maybe I just haven't seen it in the game. But I expected a Mega Crocroc. Because, and maybe there is one in the game, I don't know.
Because there is Crocodile in the game and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because they have, Mega Chandelure, there was another Unovan Pokemon. Oh yeah, I always associate, maybe it's because I use them on a team together, the trio of Scrafty, or Scraggy? No, Scrafty. I always associate, yeah, Scrafty, Chandelure, and Crocodile. Those are or Crocroc, whichever's the final one. Those are the three that I associate with each other. And I guess the same applies to Jinx up here. That Jinx had a tie to, in the original game, it was like, the trilogy, the trio, alongside the legendary birds, was Jinx, Magmar, and Electabuzz. And then they all got a baby evolution in the second generation. And then for whatever reason, Jinx didn't get a third evolution in the fourth generation. Maybe that coincided with some Jinx controversy, but I feel like Jinx didn't get a fair shake like the others did.
Mm-hmm.
But even there, like, I would... Okay, I think at the top, I think Breloom is a good bet. I like that. Although Rillaboom
I don't want Mega Rillaboom. Rillaboom's too good already.
He's got a Gigantamax form.
I honestly, a Mega Kecleon would go pretty hard.
Oh yeah, down here? Yeah. I know people really love Flygon, and the meme is Mega Flygon, and it has been for a while. But... I don't know, Carnivine. I fuck with Carnivine heavy. I really love Carnivine.
Yeah, Carnivine's awesome too.
Yeah.
That green rose kind of serving.
I think Breloom...
Mega Reuniclus. I feel like Mega Reuniclus would just be kind of cool.
I'll go with Rillaboom, fuck it, just to stand out, just to be different. Rillaboom, Tyrantrum, Weavile, Carnivine. What do you guys think of the first four? Do you have differing opinions?
I think Breloom. I think I kind of want what's the rock crystal Pokemon called again?
Gigalith?
Mega Gigalith. I think I'd want. In the
what if it looks like Charge
Stone?
Stone? What if it starts glowing blue? Now I'm selling myself on it.
Either Hydreigon or Salandit. What's the evolution of Salandit? I'm blanking on it. Salazzle. Then Flygon. I mean, I'm part of the cult. Like, I feel like Flygon just deserves an evolution so bad.
Well, because the quote has always circulated that, like, the artist said that he couldn't think of a cool idea. I don't know how true that quote is, but people talk about it a lot.
I don't know. I mean, that didn't stop them with Pyroar, right?
I haven't seen it yet. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Dan, what about you?
Don't get your hopes.
I don't know. Well, is it in any way close to my design, where it just has a long... I tried to make a gender-neutral form.
Oh yeah, because
was I close?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, we'll circle back once I see Mega Pyro.
We'll circle back. Yeah.
Dan, what about you? About the first four? We'll work our way down.
I think I'd say Breloom for the first row, then Tyrantrum for the second one.
Interesting.
That third one is tough. I might go with Glisker on that one.
Ooh, that's an interesting way of saying that.
Gliscor's annoying enough, you know.
And then I gotta go with my boy Kecleon. Mega Kecleon would go hard.
2 for Kecleon, 2 for Breloom, 2 for Tyrantrum. All right.
Wait, I thought Switchy said Flygon.
I said Flygon.
My mistake. Yeah. Okay, so the only one so just 2 for Breloom, 2 for Tyrantrum?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna say Kricketune. Fuck it. I'm locking in Kricketune. Why not?
Oh my god, that'd be so funny if it's like actually good.
He's gonna scream. He's gonna peak the audio when he does it. It's gonna be his cry.
Mega Crustle. I think there's like fun stuff you can obviously do with Mega Crustle, like just make the shell even bigger and like stupider,
and make him smaller.
I like Mega Evolutions.
Make his tongue
like
smaller.
That. Yeah. Mudsdale. Ooh. I think I'd like Mega Cricketune the most. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. I just feel like doing something fun with Cricketune. It's just those are like the fun Mega Evolutions when they really just kind of spiff up like a useless ass Pokemon.
Dan.
I gotta go with Mega Crustle on this one. I just think that'd go pretty hard.
We haven't gotten a solid 3 yet, but Quagsire and Seismitoad kind of have the same corner of the same market. I'm gonna go with Seismitoad. Noticing how many of these are groundwater types.
Water ground types, yeah. I think Clawitzer.
Okay.
Well, no, that's what I would predict. I would predict Clawitzer, but actually, then again, I mean, I feel like if they were gonna do a Mega Clawitzer, it would have been in the base game.
Yeah. What's weird, maybe I'm wrong, but I always sometimes Pokemon are associated with each other. I mean, we see Seviper and Zangoose up here. I always associated Clawitzer and Dragalge as being rivals in the game. So it's weird that Clawitzer didn't get a Mega in that context.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I can't imagine myself really liking a Mega Whiscash or a Mega Quagsire. I feel like I feel like I can't imagine them doing something that really enhances the design, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Mega Mr. Rhyme is crazy.
I feel like Clawitzer has more potential for Mega, and so does Seismitoad. I would say Clawitzer.
Okay. And Dan?
I would have to go with Quagsire because I saw this image online of like a mock Mega Quagsire, and they literally just gave him the fucking SpongeBob muscle pants arms, and that's the only difference.
Oh my god!
They draw angry eyebrows on him, and that's it. His face is the same.
Reminds me of how Mega Kangaskhan. I always kind of think that Mega Kangaskhan is the baby that's Mega evolving, because Kangaskhan looks the same, doesn't it?
I was gonna say, that's a weird one.
That was my mock-up for Excadrill. Is I'm like, yeah, Excadrill's is gonna get a bit bigger. There's gonna be tinier Excadrill around him.
Pokemon's done worse, you know.
What were you saying, Dan?
No, I'm just saying it's weird that I was looking at the next row, and I'm just thinking it's weird that Slowbro has a Mega, but Slowking doesn't.
Yeah.
When both Glail and Frostlass have Megas. That's interesting that's what they're doing.
And Gallade and Gardevoir.
Yeah, they both have Megas, so it's... I don't know. I don't know why.
I think Mega Slowking is the most likely for sure.
Oh, definitely. But I think personally, I gotta go with Licky Licky.
Okay.
A Mega Licky Licky would go hard because they would fuck it up even more.
You know what? I'll go with Licky Licky. Fuck it. I'll lock in as well. Imagine the experience on a Mega Blissey, though.
Yeah, I'm just thinking Mega Blissey. They give just give 100 defense to Blissey for Mega Blissey,
1
and just
trillion
make
to Blissey.
make it even make everything worse. I think the Mega I want to see the most is I feel like the one that would probably be the most fun to play against and with is probably Slowbro. So Slowking. So I'll say Slowking.
Okay. We haven't gotten a 3 for 3 yet. Also, I'm noticing down here also that like I said, Zangoose and Seviper are tied together. I'm looking at these rows individually, but if I'm looking at them at a whole, I think it's possible Rillaboom, Scorbunny, and the third one with the gun, they could all get Megas, because I guess they got Gigantamax forms. It's just the Gen 4 Mon that don't have some kind of new form, right? I guess the Gen 9 starters don't either. But I guess Crabrawler. I used Crabrawler when I played Sun and Moon. I'll go for that. Why not?
Ooh. It'd just be so funny that he Crabrawler, because who the fuck likes I actually use Crabrawler, but I feel like I was giving love to something that doesn't get a lot of love.
Dude, if you were playing Sun and Moon and you had Mudsdale, Crabrawler, even Incineroar, anything that could learn close combat, you were basically just gonna win the game.
Dude, I'm thinking Mega Toxapex, but that's just gonna be vomit. That's gonna be awful to play against. But I feel like Toxapex is popular enough that that's a Pokemon they might do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that picturing these Megas, it isn't just oh, this Pokemon has a Mega form now that's gonna appear in extra material. It's that it's going to be probably a fight within Legend ZA. So out of all of these, I can imagine a Mega Toxapex boss fight in Legend ZA. Like, it's a giant dome that you have to, like...
Yeah.
It's like when you're in gym class as a kid
about...
and you lift the giant parachute thing up and you have to get under it really quickly.
I guess the way I'm thinking about this is, like, which Pokemon do I think, like, could probably benefit from, like, a new ability or a new way of playing? And I don't think Toxapex really needs that. I feel like Toxapex is pretty connected to the whole, like, regenerator thing.
Pretty solid.
So I guess, you know, in some ways I kind of want it to be Aurorus, because I feel like maybe... Well, I mean, Aurorus is never going to be good unless they change the type. You can't make Ice Rock work. But I'll just say Aurorus.
They make it Ice Fairy. And Dan, also Dan.
Is this for the Ice Row?
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to be real. I don't really know a lot of these guys.
I don't care about any of these.
Inteleon.
That's
I just
the
think
bitch.
it's funny that Avalugg is an option because I don't think anyone's favorite Pokemon is Avalugg.
It's got an alpha in that one area in ZA.
I know,
but again, that like Claude.
It also has a Hisuian form.
Whose favorite
Does
Pokemon
it?
is
Oh, you're right, it
Avalugg?
does. Yeah. It got drowned out with all the other Hisuian forms. This is the layer I don't care much for. I guess like Golurk is probably the safe bet, right?
I mean, I'd say Golurk too,
yeah,
honestly.
make him do the tank.
I don't care about that row either.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love a Mega Golurk.
All right, let's go triple Golurk. But always bet on Golurk. I don't. As far as Hisuian forms go, I don't fuck with Overquill at all. I don't even know he was in the game.
Man. Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say.
It's just stretching the vertices. It's not anything.
It's hilarious. I love that thing. I think the one I would want to see the most is Mega Drifblim.
Yeah. Make it a hot air balloon.
Cool.
It's carrying a little basket.
Just like make it even more. I don't know. I feel like an element of like what of Mega Evolutions that's kind of fun is when there's like a Pokemon where you think they could just make something bigger and make it look kind of cooler or crazier. You know what I mean? And I think Drifblim's a good. I feel like you can do a lot of cool stuff with Drifblim.
Yeah.
Aegislash. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Aegislash, if they did do a Mega, like it would just be a new design, which could very well just not be that cool. And it's probably just going to work the same way. It's just going to be more stats on Aegislash, which isn't as interesting as, like, I feel like they do something more interesting with Drifblim, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still got to go with Aegislash just because I think that's, like, one of my favorite Pokemon, and I just think I always thought it was popular. I'm still shocked there is not a Mega, so...
Well, that's another... You know, that's Gen 6.
I wonder because Aegislash was so overpowered, they nerfed him. And like
he's pretty bad at ZA. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because I mean, is the stance change even work in ZA? Does it even work like that, or is he just always in like one?
Kind
form?
of does, but it's so goddamn slow. It is so slow.
I think
it's the slowest shit ever.
Just like I think my favorite parts of ZA have been seeing how these like Pokemon moves translate to a game like this. Like the first time I froze something, I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, you could do that. I didn't even know that was and Future Sight, the way it just eventually lands where you aimed it. I think that's one of the most undersung and like fun parts of the game is learning how they all translate.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go Cloyster.
Cloyster. I like Cloyster. I mean, I think my main.
Doesn't Cloyster already have a Mega Evolution technically because Slowbro has a Mega Evolution? So
that's what I'm saying. They should make Mega Cloyster just look like the weird gray
That's
thing.
like one of the weirdest fucking things they've done with the game. Is like
back when they didn't have rules.
Done a weird explanation once. How is that a Shelder? It doesn't look like a Shelder. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. It's weird.
They didn't really think about a lot of stuff when they were making the first game. Like, we still have Nidoran male and female in the name, even though we have classifications for gender now.
Yeah. I guess they just wouldn't want to change the national dex entry number of everything. I feel like that'd just be... I don't know. That just seems like a thing they wouldn't want to do.
They could give it, like, a regional form where it looks like that. I've always wanted that. Fuck it. Mega Cloyster should look like that gray thing. An evil little gray.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I'm going to go with Cacturn as well.
I also am going with Cacturn. That would go very hard.
Yeah, Mega Cacturn. I mean, I like Ferrothorn, but I feel like Ferrothorn's already kind of like Ferrothorn doesn't need that, you know? Cacturn, they do something cool.
Damn, triple Cacturn, okay. And this one we're excited about, not like Defeatus like Golurk.
Yeah.
Row below, I think Galvantula is a strange choice for this stone.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to be Galvantula. They would not make those colors like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is weird.
Purloin, or is Purloin the second or first evolution? It's Liepard.
Purloin's the second.
Purloin's first.
Oh, Liepard is, yeah.
Yeah, Liepard. That was the first shiny I ever caught in Black 2, is the shiny Liepard. Well, I caught it as a Purloin. So I'm gonna go with Liepard.
You know, I don't. It's not going to be Galvantula. I mean, those colors don't match up well with Galvantula. Imagine if I'm wrong, but I want to see Mega Delcatty. But no, honestly, Delcatty is such like terrible stats already. Like Mega Delcatty won't even be that much better unless they give it like a super broken ability.
Give it a different type.
But you know,
right? Can I say the guy?
Sure.
Can that be?
Do we know who this guy is?
I have no idea who that is. That is so funny.
Is he like a new character in the DLC?
I'd say Delcatty too.
Okay.
But I didn't see him. But I'm going with the guy. That's my lock.
See, all the way down here. I mean, our camera doesn't even reach down there. It's Zeraora, Luxray, Guzzlord, Cofagrigus, and Lantern. And that
is the craziest lineup, and to end on Lantern.
Lantern looks nothing like this.
Have 4 fucking like big
the more
hitters.
I'm looking at the colors, the more I'm looking at the colors of the stones themselves, the more doubt I have.
I guess we were picking our favorites and not ones we think are likely, but looking at this,
definitely.
I don't. Cofagrigus is another Unova one I associate with the others, but I don't think this is Cofagrigus. I feel like it has to be. I don't think it will be Guzzlord. It'd be weird to only have Mega Guzzlord.
I don't think they do any Mega Ultra Beasts, honestly, and that definitely wouldn't be Lantern. Honestly, what I think that most likely is probably Luxray.
Yeah.
Between those 5, I think it's more likely Luxray. And I mean, honestly, I think I would want it to be either Luxray or Lantern. Probably Luxray.
I agree with them not doing any of the beasts mega, but I forget what the sarcophagus is called, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I think Cofagrigus would be a pretty cool mega, because then the mummy could come out.
Yeah, then we're finishing out the circle. Oh, the thing comes out. We're finishing out the circle of like Scrafty, Cofagrigus, Crocodile, like I said earlier. What was the other one? I'm already blanking on it. The other Gen 5 that got a starter. Or sorry, got a Mega. Why am I blanking on this now?
Scrafty, Crocodile, and Chandelure.
And Chandelure, yeah. If we get Cofagrigus in there, fucking get Mega Sigilyph as well. Those are really all the... Because they're all caught in that same desert. I think it's why I associate them all with each other. That weird ground zero desert.
I think it would be very funny if... instead of Lantern, it was Rookity, because it makes no sense, because Rookity is like a starter, like a level, the lowest on the tier.
We do see Corviknight early in this trailer. I guess I didn't think about that, or whoever made the mock-up didn't think about that. It's like the first thing we see, no? Now, let's see. Now we're in... Oh, wait, no, hold on. Okay, trailer opens.
Well, if we see Corviknight, then we're going to see the other one, right? The hammer one?
Tinkaton?
Yeah, isn't that like the whole deal? Like if they hate Corviknight, so
I think so. I mean, Tinkaton is on this pink list. I don't know if we know we're going to see it. I guess we should actually watch this trailer again. I think Corviknight's more likely than anything that was listed down there. Granted, it doesn't have any yellow in it.
I could see them doing Mega Corviknight.
You see Abra back there.
The yellow is in the Rookity, so maybe that's the route they go down. But even then, that's kind of a stretch.
Pansear, Sableye, Goomy. Just doing call-outs now.
I forgot Sableye had a Mega.
Yeah, I hated it at the time. I really did not fuck with Mega Evolutions because it still I thought that Mega was going to be the thing, like, moving forward. Like, every game was going to follow Mega Evolution. And
same.
At the time, and we know that now, like, because we have Mega Raichu, that if you get a Mega, you're not going to get another evolution. Like, that is the end of the line.
That's why I had a lot of, like, mixed feelings about Mega Evolution when they first came out.
Right, so when I saw...
Sun and Moon didn't have any,
Yeah, when I saw Mega Sableye, I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's not getting a Mega... Or he's not getting a new evolution
Well, they kind of sort of play with that in this game in a way I'm not going to say because, again, it's a spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say, though... I know what you're talking about. I feel like that even in the game they acknowledge as like a special, like unnatural.
I know, but it does open the door, is what I'm saying. Like now they could be like, well, now you can have like
they could, but it seems like a thing that in a lot of cases would disqualify a Pokemon from getting.
You're right, because they would have done Mega Pikachu if they
Absolutely,
could.
They would have done.
Yeah, no, they would have 100% done Mega Pikachu.
I haven't seen the entire Dex yet, but I think that Cubone isn't in ZA?
No, it's not. It's not. Neither is Mime.
We got Cubone. We got specifically Alola Marowak, Mr. Rhyme.
Mime's not. Cubone's not.
We're assuming Mr. Mime isn't it because Mr. Rhyme is. Oh, I know
they might do a Mega Garganacl, and it's gonna piss me off.
Does it coincide with any of these stones we've seen? Is there like a brown gray one?
No, not really. To be fair, so I guess that
maybe Crustle.
Oh, in place of Crustle, but that's more orange.
Nah, but I feel like they wouldn't use that color scheme.
Golisopod and Wimpod. Certainly, if we see anything new down here, I don't think so. Cubone in this area, Marowak. We also saw the Annihilate in that one image, which is probably in that same area. The key
Are
to
there any Mega Evolutions that are regional forms? No, I don't think so.
No, because I traded my Slowbro or my Slowpoke for the, what's it called? Not it's
the Galarian.
Is it Galarian or is it called something else?
It's Galarian Slowpoke.
Okay, yeah, Galarian Slowpoke, and I have a Galarian Slowbro, or I have the opportunity to evolve it in a Slowbro, but I'm pretty sure
it can't Mega Evolve.
Yeah, it can't Mega Evolve because it's different from. What is? Okay, no, that is Meowth. That is Galarian Meowth back there.
I can barely see it.
I know that walk cycle anywhere.
Okay, that is. And
Galarian there's Beldums as well.
I saw it walk.
Yeah. Berserker. I like Berserker only because I named my Berserker when I first played Sword and Shield. I named it Gordon after Cat Scratch.
In the game already.
Yeah,
so that's not. I mean,
Karina not in the game. Well, he's in the game now. All the Mega Stones. So wait, and I think that was the other thing going into this game that obviously we saw characters. Ancestors and Ingo falling into the past. But what's interesting about the Switch era, and technically this is now in the Switch 2 era, so I guess it doesn't track. Chimecho's in this game now. Is that for a while, like Sun and Moon being the last 3DS era, and having all of the evil team leaders show up in the post game, and having Red and Blue and Wally in that one battle tower. The fact that the Switch games in particular haven't really referenced previous Pokemon characters, or at least like had them show up in 3D. Like for a while, Looker was showing up in all of them, and then it just stopped with the. Oh, by the way,
they didn't really do that in the Galar games or the or Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, even Arceus only had one. Also down here, we could see the Excalibur we're using is level 162.
Arceus had a bunch of lookalike characters.
Yeah, the ancestors.
And. Yeah, I mean, I think Scarlet and Violet, the DLC, like one area, like it took place in, I think the Dome place was in Unova, and the other place, I don't know if it was in Kanto, I forget.
It was like based on Kanto or something.
I don't think there were a lot of like returning
the characters didn't come back, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the fire gym leader in Sword and Shield was from Hoenn. But again, like we didn't see, I want to see these characters, how they look in 3D.
I forget what her name was, but I think one of my favorite things, and I think it was only in the original Sun and Moon, is that there's like a whole DLC thing with the not DLC, but like kind of post game thing with the Ultra Beasts, and one of the main characters is like just one of the Battle Frontier Frontier girls from Emerald, and like she has no memories.
Well, I always really liked that because it showed the difference in timelines. That like the Mega timeline with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby is a split timeline she's specifically.
I hate the Pokemon timelines. I hate the Pokemon timelines.
That she's specifically from the Game Boy Advance one. Yeah, now we don't know how many timelines there are because it was like original Game Boy timeline and then Prime timeline and then Mega timeline. And now I don't know where we are. Maybe we're still in the Mega timeline. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is that our Excalibur has extended past level 100. So that confirms that your Pokemon can do that. Raichu? I have just a little story. Muna is new, I believe. I have a Raichu on one of my teams in ZA because I dedicated like an hour or so to trying to evolve a Pichu into a Pikachu that I could trade to someone for, I think, a Heracross maybe. And I didn't want to catch a new Pikachu because I guess I'm vehemently against doubling up Pokemon. And even though I was going to trade away anyway, but it took me hours and the Pichu just didn't like evolve via happiness. And by that point, like after the hours, I'm like, you know what? You're okay. I'm keeping you with me. And then I just got a different Pikachu. That eventual Raichu really grew on me.
I gotta say that Heracross is in my core team. Like
it
has been.
I used it for a while, but I think I dropped it because I wanted to use other stuff in my team.
Mm-hmm.
What's your core team right now?
My core team from memory is it's actually funny. It's Meganium, Clefable, Excadrill, Chandelure. Dragonite. I had to do Dragonite. I do Dragonite in so many games, but it's my favorite Pokemon and it has a Mega, so I had to do Dragonite. Dragonite and what was the last one? I said Meganium, Channeler, Clefable, and Sharpedo.
Oh, that's good.
How about you?
I have for Alligator, Heracross, Gengar, Gardevoir, Charizard, Aegislash.
Yeah, I wanted to use as many like new Megas as I could, so
Right,
Yeah.
I get that.
My thing is that like and also why I was kind of potentially disappointed going into it is that I've been transferring all my Pokemon ups like since I've started playing. They're all in my Pokemon home. So I know I'm going to eventually put everything in home. So I'm normally against like recatching Pokemon I already have unless I use it on my team. And I knew that I needed to fill out this dex for completion purposes. So what I started early on is that I would keep using Emboar. Obviously, Emboar is a fixture of my team. No matter what, I would keep using Emboar. But I would catch every Pokemon, at least one of each. And then every 5th Pokemon, or I guess every 6th Pokemon, would start a new team. And every time I ranked up, I would switch to the next team. So like the first 5 Pokemon I caught were like Team Z. And then once I ranked up to Team Y, I moved on to the next 5. Evidently, you end up skipping a bunch of ranks anyway. So now I've been going up each time I do Megas or do a battle. But I have my favorites. Like I think my W team maybe was the aforementioned Raichu. And then because I'm catching them in order and they all show up in the same area, Arbok, Gengar, Sableye. There's another one on that team I don't remember. But I haven't been like using one solid team. But I'm sure by the end I'll just pick my favorites. Granted, I have been leaning very close to a Semi-Sage because when I played Pokemon White for the first time in like 2010, my team was ostensibly made up of Emboar and Semi-Sage. So I'm excited to run that back as well.
Yeah, no, a lot of people hate the like elemental monkeys, but because of like, oh, you get a free elemental monkey that helps you with the first gym, that kind of like thing in the black and white. I've always liked them. Always, my Semi-Sage was in my original black team original white team.
Well, I was excited to see them in general because they hadn't been in a Switch game, and now I think every Pokemon has, aside from maybe Spinda because there's a weird glitch with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But I've always transferred all my Pokemon up. It was fun to transfer them all into Sun and Moon and then try and beat the different Elite Four champion, depending on who it was, with each of my teams. And then in Sword and Shield, it was just fun to see them all on the Switch. And in Scarlet and Violet, or Sword and Shield, I was trying to get them all Gigantamax by getting the Max Mushrooms. And Scarlet and Violet, I was trying to get shards for all of them. But overall, like, transferring them to the new games was just to see how they look. But I think this is the only game for a long while since like Sun and Moon where I'm legitimately looking forward to Pokemon Home connectivity because this game is so different. I cannot wait to transfer my 2010 Emboar into this game and physically like play with him and run around in battle. I'm actually really excited for that. Whereas every other game, transferring them all into the new one was just sort of a necessity to fill out the decks. This one I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And I hope they add Infernape to the game so I can get him in there as well.
Those were all of the trailers, I believe. There's going to be a new, it's not super related, but just real quick, there's going to be, I think tomorrow actually, a new PlayStation State of Play that focuses on the Japanese developers, so it's going to be in Japanese with English subtitles. And I have a PlayStation 5, but it's not like my main thing, and I'm not super excited about PlayStation games. Not that I dislike them, it's just not really my favorite thing. And earlier we hate
PlayStation games.
They're not as cool as Xbox. They got Halo on there. Well, now Halo's coming to the PlayStation. That was another thing that happened between weeks. But what point was I getting? Oh, when we were talking about GTA earlier, that like we haven't actually seen any of the gameplay at all. But there was a gameplay leak a while back, like years and years ago, where a really early build of the game leaked, and everyone's like, "Man, this game sucks. It's not finished." It's like, well, of course it's unfinished. And the same thing happened with that Wolverine game. So it's crazy that have we gotten gameplay for that Wolverine game at all, or have we just seen a new trailer?
Think so.
There was a trailer for it, and it had gameplay in it,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it did? Damn.
Anyway, I'm only bringing this up because specifically the Japanese team worked on Astrobot, and that's the only thing I care about on PS5. So I hope that they just release Astrobot levels throughout the rest of the PS5, if not the next console altogether. I'll listen to the stream audio in Turbo real quick. Okay, if it will open. It's doing its best. Okay, well, while this is loading, do you guys have any aspirations for a Japanese state of play?
No, not really. I can take it or leave it.
I'm pulling everything on Astrobot. That is legitimately why I got the PS5. It is my Astrobot machine. It's crazy that it only came out last year. We did get new Astrobot levels earlier this year, announced on the previous state of play. So I want to see it, but also I'm expecting it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The next console, as if the PS6 is even going to be a thing. You don't think so? I don't think there's going to be another Xbox, but I think a new PlayStation could be. I'm talking on Twitch chat right now. Anyway, moving forward, as far as very eventful things that happened this week, we also got the Kirby Air Riders Global Test Ride. Now, let me ask you guys, did you get an opportunity to play any Kirby Air Riders last week?
No, I didn't.
And Dan? Also Dan? Okay, I played a little bit of it. I didn't play anything online, but I think once you get the global test ride, you get to do the tutorials. It teaches you how the game works. And I don't know if either of you have played the Skate open beta, or just a Skate game in general, where the mechanics are a little different, where you flick the stick to do a little kickflip, like you flick it down and then up. And I've noticed that, I'll go through my notes here, when I was playing Kirby Air Riders, that is how you do, I think, the quick spin. Like, we've seen it a lot in the directs, that it says, like, oh, waggle the stick, and you would think, like, it's, like, almost Mario Party 64 levels where you have to constantly spin it, but no, you just have to flick it, like, left and right, and then you'll do the spin. So it's actually really responsive. I've also noticed, I don't know if these were all in the direct, but this is just while I was playing the Global Test Ride, oh my god, that you can actually burn out. So we know in the game that if you hold, we hold down the brake button, that it fills up a meter and then you can blast forward. If you hold it for too long, then you get soot all over you.
Okay, that's what you meant. Yes, that was in the original too. If you hold it for too long, you burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you played? I'm sorry, I crashed for like a minute because my Wi-Fi glitched out. Have you played the test ride? I've not touched it because I'm trying to go in completely voice. Okay, so completely blind.
I didn't get to do anything online because there were. So anyone could play the global test ride right now. You could just download it. But the online stretches where you can like test by playing other players. I think for me it was like 5 a.m. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. But what you can do in the global test ride is do all the tutorials. Like it just teaches you how to play the game. So that's where I noticed all of the gameplay mechanics. You can spam Y to drop an ability. Like if you have a power-up and you don't want it anymore, you just have to hit Y a bunch of times. There are specific power-ups or copy abilities that work differently than you would think. Like the bomb is huge. I don't know if we saw it in any of the trailers, but the bomb ability, it almost takes up the entire course. You throw ostensibly a nuke in front of you. Well, the bomb...
Yeah, that's how it worked in the original too.
Yeah, the bomb isn't that big, but the explosion radius is. You can... When with the fire copy ability, you can, of course, shoot fireballs in front of you, but you can also drop a fireball trap behind you. And there's a factor, this might also be the case with the original Kirby Air Ride, which I'm glad you're here to tell me, that it wasn't mentioned in the direct, but there are different boxes that spawn around City Trial, and blue boxes correlate to upgrades. So when you break those, you get upgrades. Green boxes hold attack items that you can use to shoot at other players, and then the red boxes hold copy abilities. So the different colored boxes actually hold different abilities and different upgrades. Is that the same as it is in Kirby Air Ride? We may have gotten another crash. Anyway.
Yes, it kind of is. It's a little... It's hard to say what exactly they're going for, but basically that the theme boxes are the same, yes.
Okay. Also, before we get into, because there are additional Kirby trailers, before we talk more about, I mean, that's really all I have to say about the test ride, but there were a lot of smaller instances throughout the week. Obviously, on the show, we've been filling out a visual of all of the riders, all of the carts, all of the courses, all of the enemies, and we haven't been able to place a handful of them. But there is, I believe, this one here. Is it named here? Yeah. Inhale or capture Jab Jab to use the fighter copy ability and kick any of the rivals who get too close. So Jab Jab is the little gray hooded creature. I guess it isn't shown here, but that's the quote retweet from Sonico, who's huge help when it comes to Air Riders. This character that we couldn't place that is new to Kirby Air Riders, his name is Jab Jab. We still don't have a proper PNG to put on the render. But there's a lot of stuff like that. If we're following Sonico again, there's this image that... I don't know how accurate this is, but if we can open this up in a different tab... Scrolling down here, that there seems to be, like, weird bleeding right here on the ride selection screen, and he pointed out specifically, I think it's here, I might go back, actually, that it looks like additional machines have been sort of cropped out or covered with pink, or maybe just edited out in general, because this is a screenshot as opposed to it being an active video. There's a lot of little things like that. We also...
We're definitely getting another machine. Let's not forget the Gummy incident.
Yeah, we know that there is an equivalent to Gummy. And I think when Dan was on for Dan2Ultra, we also said that we couldn't spot any ice enemies but we knew there's an ice copy ability. I think in this screenshot, we can see, where is Chili? That's his name, right? Chili?
He's right next to the big Jab Jab.
Yeah, I'm circling him right now. Oh yeah, we can see Jab Jab as well. So Jab Jab, Chili. And we thought... in previous installments, that one ice creature that is in the water, submerged in the water, could be a small enemy that you could inhale to get the ice ability. These are 4 screenshots I took while doing the global test ride on the first course, or I guess, yeah, it is the first course. Like, the ice makes it seem like it's the cavernous one, but it actually is just, like, not Spring Breeze, but whatever it's called. I try to get up close. It is actually a massive creature. We thought that perspective was playing a trick on us, but it is in fact some kind of whale-like entity. This is not where you get the ice copy ability. I have to assume that it is Chili, now that we know that Chili's in the game.
It has to be. It definitely has to be.
Yeah, it'd be weird for Chili to be in it and not. There were additional... I'm going to mute this while I do this. This is the Japanese trailer. It's on Twitter, which is why the quality is like this. But we see footage that we don't see in the directs and other American trailers. Specifically, well, there's DeRoach right there. Taranza, sorry. Dynablade, and then we see more of 02, which we didn't see in the direct. Like, before we're like, oh man, is the 02 actually... is that what this is, or is it a machine amalgamation? But no, this is very clearly 02. I think that's what we see in this footage right here.
I think it... So, the way I see it, it's one of two things. It's like a hologram version. That's why it's, like, very, like,
that's why
choppy.
The Waddle Doo pops out after?
Yeah, or it's... well, Waddle Doo could just be hitting it, or it could be dying. We don't know.
Okay.
Or it is actually 02, because what happens in 64 is he basically breaks apart. So, it's basically, like, it's all the pieces back together again.
Shattered across the universe.
People were complaining that the eye was too big. I'm like... You realize that, like, this is a very different game than a platformer, right? The eye has to be bigger. Otherwise, it's going to be, like, really annoying to hit.
Yeah, I haven't had an opportunity to actually play online, but of the footage I've seen, it looks crazy. Like, the people running around as Rick, no wonder it can't run on the Switch 1. Like, it does look insane. It looks very hectic.
It looks almost a little too hectic at points, which I'm actually happy about, but, like, I mean, like... It can get crazy, it looks like, which is wild.
I don't think I'll, like, formally ask, but I do intend to play the game on its Thursday release of November 20th. Also, I don't have the visual up right now, but speaking of Thursdays, we still don't have anything slated for this upcoming Thursday. Like, we assumed it was the Pikmin update, but that hasn't been announced, so maybe this Thursday we just don't have anything, and then maybe something comes out the 27th. Because last Thursday...
It's going to be Tetris 99, calling it now.
Tetris 100?
Yeah.
And what?
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned the machine passage thing.
Oh, being able to steal someone else's machine?
No, the course, machine passage.
Huh? Is it in this?
Wait, you didn't know? Okay,
I don't think so.
In the original game, in Machine Passage, there is a section you go by where you pass by a very dark, very big, like, eyes. And it's like the lore behind Kirby Air Ride, and they were wondering what was up with that. So when they announced Machine Passage was coming back, they were like, oh, well, are we going to see the monster again? And lo and behold, someone took a screenshot, and yes, the monster is back.
Do you have that screenshot? Can you get it to me
Let
live
me see if
on
I
the
can
show?
find it. Hold on.
Okay, because
I gotta find it.
I will say, because I thought you were talking about like going from machine to machine, and that's another thing upon playing the game is that it seems like in the direct that all you have to do is you run into the back of someone's machine when it's about to break, and then you take it, right? It requires aiming. But in the actual test drive, you can be like a mile away. Okay, that's an exaggeration. You could be several feet away, and if the little reticle shows up on a different character, if you hit Y, you will immediately, like a Sonic homing attack, you will home in on that guy from like you can cross a road and home in on an enemy. You immediately zip to the other side. And that's probably what causes a lot of the confusion and hecticity. There's so much to it. But what I was getting at is that I plan on playing it on Thursday. If you guys plan on playing the game, hopefully we can get a bunch of people together to play it multiplayer style. Do you guys intend on getting it on launch day?
I do.
I hope so. I'm getting it physical, so we'll see exactly what
Well, it
happens.
will be a longer stream. I've been doing doubles throughout November, so you got a number of hours to do it. You got us Wyatt as well. Get the
So
Chuckle Fox.
that's the
like
original
patrons.
I just sent you. So
Okay.
that's what that is right
Maybe
there. I just have
switch
to
over
find
to
the
us.
other one.
Okay.
'Cause,
I was going to use this as an opportunity to also fill out the different Photoshop files. I guess I'll cover this Photoshop file real quick. That I, over the week, on Thursday, after the previous installment of Switch to Ultra, Dan to Ultra, I had the opportunity, I mean, I paid for it, to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And I'm going to ask you guys, did either of you play Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment?
no.
No.
All right, that's totally fair. But also, because I've been doing double-length streams in November, I was like, okay, I'll dedicate 3 hours to playing Age of Calamity, and then 3 hours to playing Age of Imprisonment. And I will say that on previous installments, we were talking about that mysterious construct character that sort of looks like Link. It's like, oh, what are the lore ramifications of this? And the answer is that we thought before, like, oh, this is obviously a reference to Link. But after playing Age of Calamity and Age of Imprisonment, they have the exact same moveset. So the mysterious construct exists so that you can play as Link in a game where he isn't supposed to exist. And I thought going into it that Age of Calamity and Age of Imprisonment were both canon, but what I learned from the chat is that Age of Calamity is canon, except the ending is different. So, like, it's a happy ending where they defeat Ganon. So it technically isn't canon, just a split timeline. Whereas Age of Imprisonment takes place where Zelda gets sent to the past in Tears of the Kingdom. I imagine you guys don't care much about spoilers of Tears of the Kingdom. It's been long enough. But the comparison is, going into these, I had only played the original Hyrule Warriors. Like, I hadn't played Definitive Edition, I just played the Wii U version. And the appeal to me, and I think you guys have said that before, of that game is the crossover aspect, is being able to play as all these different characters, and them all have unique play styles. And that isn't necessarily lost in these games. It felt almost as if Age of Calamity was, and I kind of hazard to say this, it feels like Age of Calamity, the original Switch one, was made specifically for shippers. Like, you get little bits of dialogue. I just unplugged my headphones. You get little bits of interaction and dialogue with, I keep wanting to call him Ravio. I don't think that's his name. The bird one, Daruk, all those guys, all those different champions, and Zelda and Link. Like, it is mostly a story thing. Overall, the games mechanically are similar. I was excited because it felt like Age of Imprisonment was going to be more of a dungeon crawling game. But I will say, because Age of Calamity, or rather in Spite, Age of Calamity feels like a big shippers game, you know, just to get material for all those characters together, because you can choose which characters you pair together. Age of Imprisonment has a sync technique, a sync mechanic, where if you're playing as two characters, they have a unique finish animation, where you, like, hit the left bumper, they do a move together. So I think that probably would have suited Age of Calamity even better because of, obviously, what I think about that. Age of Imprisonment has different blocking mechanics. Maybe I just didn't know you could block in Age of Calamity, or Age of Imprisonment has the blocking mechanic. Where, like, the left trigger is dedicated to shielding, whereas Age of Calamity, you can kind of strafe, but it isn't there. And the biggest thing, because there was no time between playing these two games, I immediately transitioned from one to the other. The biggest thing that caught me off guard is that Age of Calamity, you have, I think it's Y is the neutral attack that you can chain together, and then X is the heavy attack. And you can do them at any point. So the whole time I was playing Age of Calamity, I was just bashing the X button and doing the heavy attack. In Age of Imprisonment, you can't do the heavy attack initially. It has to be, at least early on in the game. You can get an upgrade later and level up so that you can use the heavy. But early on in the game, heavy is only a combo ender. Like, you have to do YYX. You can't just lead with X. And it resulted in me playing the game and running forward, and then what it looks like on screen is me just not doing anything, like running up to an enemy and stalling. It's because I was inherently hitting that heavy button and it wasn't doing anything. However, I will say this, that the appeal of the original Hyrule Warriors is all those timelines converging together. The appeal of Age of Calamity is seeing all those lovable, lovely characters from Breath of the Wild coming together. And I thought early on that, like, oh, Age of Imprisonment, these characters aren't nearly as important to Tears of the Kingdom as the Age of Calamity ones are to Breath of the Wild. However, the only character early on that can use their heavy immediately is Rauru, King Rauru, the goat guy. Also, I put this footage on in the background. It's been a cutscene for a long time. Let me try and find some gameplay footage. That's just what the game was. So you'll notice as I'm playing through the game that I started with Zelda and tried these different characters. And I think the constructs are really fun. Like being able to... You can see right there, actually. I want to see if I can find it again. The different... Let me go back to Zelda's gameplay. Okay, there's another cutscene. A lot of it is trailing as well, where they're like doing dialogue and then you're just kind of behind them. Oh man, the mechanic. There's a lot of cutscenes in it too. If you like the Zelda story a lot, this game is built for that. More or less. Can I just show it? Okay. I'm trying to find a specific time. You can see right here. Okay, it's the other way around. Oh no, I had it right. Y is neutral and X is heavy. And you can't lead with X, you have to lead with Y. But by a certain point, as soon as I picked up Rauru, King Rauru, who has this staff that he just lunges forward and he could do heavy attacks and he uses it as a whip, I immediately fell in love. When I was playing Age of Calamity, I was trying to level up all of the characters concurrently and do an even amalgamation of all of them. When I played Age of Imprisonment for 3 hours, as soon as I got to King Rauru, I didn't want to do missions that didn't have him in them because I didn't want to pick someone else. This is a story-first game, and I don't know what I have written here, but I am a Rauru main in this game. He's a heavy with a staff. So, because of that, I was talking about Photoshop documents earlier. If you guys will... Actually, let me have the sound effect here. Direct your attention over here. I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Because if you asked me before about Rauru being a character in a potential Smash Bros., I wouldn't have cared, just based off of Tears of the Kingdom. But now that I've played him in Age of Imprisonment, I kind of fucking love Rauru. So I want to get your guys' takes on these, because to add it to the board, I think we need to all be in agreement. So I am submitting this to the Switch 2 Ultra Society, the prospect of King Rauru being a heavy staff-wielding character in a Smash Bros. Game. And I want to get your guys' feelings on this, because I feel very strongly about Rauru now.
Whether I think it's gonna happen or whether I want it to happen, like what specifically?
What do we think everyone on this board is gonna happen? I guess if we think it's real,
I don't think everyone on that board's gonna happen.
If
no
we-
way.
if we-
Two of them might happen.
if we think it's realistic, yeah, let's go with, do you think it could happen?
Could it happen? Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
I don't think there's enough demand for it, but it would be cool.
Do we go off of
I mean-
majority rule, or does it need to be unanimous? Now that there's
I don't
three
think
of
there's a lot
us.
of demand for Piranha Plant.
Well, yeah, but I think Piranha Plant, I don't know, I feel like there's a joke with Piranha Plant that I think kind of justifies its existence to the developers in a certain way that might not be the case for this character. What's his name again? Sorry.
Rauru?
Rauru.
Because there's different
I think-
equivalents of Rauru. Like, there's an N64 one who's just a guy, and then I think there's a town in Zelda 2 titled Rauru. So I'm talking about the goat guy in particular. This is the only PNG I could find. I promise he normally looks cooler and less green than this. But if I can help your argument a little bit, I think Rauru is really cool and would be a fun character. But if we're talking about adding a new Zelda character to Smash Bros., I don't think Raru's high on the list.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, but at the same time, if they're gonna add a new Zelda character, it's probably gonna be someone from this Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah, that is true.
thing. I mean, But so I don't even know who they could add possibly. Right now, like, it could be Raru, but I also think, it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to get a Master Koga character.
Okay.
That'd be a fun one.
Because I've always been against having a character that isn't the Triforce trio. So prior to Raru, I'm just like, oh, I want Pig Ganon. I want a heavy with a staff, like a ranged heavy. But evidently, that's what Raru is. So Raru would just kind of take the Ganon slot for me. But now I'm all in. I actually, to the point where I wouldn't recommend buying it. I want to say this vehemently. I'm not saying you guys need it, nor should anyone watching the show need it. But I kind of do want to play more Age of Imprisonment, just because Raru is so fun to play. Also, lest we forget, we're excited for Metroid Prime. We've been playing a lot of Pokemon. But as far as, like, major Nintendo franchises go, this is one of 4 Switch 2 exclusives, ostensibly. It's Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, this game, and Kirby Air Riders. Like, I guess you could count Welcome Tour, but would you?
Nintendo would count Welcome Tour.
Yeah,
they would.
Was it a $60 game?
It's like, yeah.
Something like that.
Our diverse Nintendo Switch 2 library.
Then we're gonna get Mario Tennis. But yeah, I'm submitting Raru for thought, just to think about it. And I think the rule before was me and Switchy both need to be in agreement. But if we're just going to have Dan on whenever we can have Dan on, maybe it needs to be unanimous. I guess we should probably...
I'm not against it. Like, I'm not saying no.
Right.
I want to make that clear. Like, I wouldn't be against it. That being said, like, if this is not an ultimate type situation where everyone is gone, I kind of am like...
That's what the trailer says. It says everyone is gone.
Everyone is gone. Like, I'm a little worried.
Go home.
Like,
no Smash Bros. Everyone's gone.
Snake doesn't drop down because
But I wouldn't be against it. I think, as far as Zelda reps go from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I think that's a pretty good rep. I can't, because there's not really that many, like, good, because you could say, like, the 4, whatever they're called. I haven't played Breath of the Wild in forever, but, like, the 4, like, sages or whatever you want to call them. And I'm just thinking, like, that would never work as a character.
Here's my other thing, too. Now that I'm noticing I'm putting him behind Bandana Waddle Dee, what I like about Raru is he's a ranged, like, staff character. And I don't know if we'd get that and Bandana Waddle Dee. I think we'd get one or the other.
I think we get Bandana before we get Raru. I will say that.
Same.
Should we look back at this list? Because some of these we put on here because they were on that 4chan leak that's fake, but it's still fun to think about. I think our individual picks, Waluigi picked by Switch 2 Ultra, and then Bandana Waddle Dee and Psylux because they're getting amiibo. Not that that means every amiibo is getting in the game, but it just means that they're more likely. And then we had different guests, like Gnarly Collector picking Girl from Rhythm Heaven. I think Dan picking Shovel Knight and Brent Floss picking Rabid Peach. Is there anyone we should specifically remove from this? Because I removed Captain Ed. Oh yeah, and Wyatt picked Ravenbeak. So I'm gonna...
So I don't think the Ring Fit person is going to be in, only because Ring Fit is like one of the only games that you cannot play with a Switch 2 Joy-Con. So that kind of like...
That's true. That's a good point.
Makes it so that, like, well, then what's the point,
I guess we gotta wait to see if we get a Switch 2 version.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Then we have to get a whole new peripheral.
Yeah. I think maybe at the start of the year, like 2026, we start this chart clean and we, like, actually... Or maybe after I release the final Smash Ultimate video, that I'm like, okay, now let's actually, like, start talking about a new one and kind of work from the ground up. But for right now, I'm putting Raru on here just because it's really, ultimately, no pun intended, all I have to say about Age of Imprisonment is that I really like playing as Raru. And I'm going to, in the time over here, actually, well, let's see, gotta cut away here. I was going to update the other courses or the other images, like the Kirby Air Riders one, but I guess I could just do that after. Okay, that's saving in the background right now. And I think as far as games go, we talked about GTA, we talked about Kirby Air Riders, talked about the Pokemon trailer, talked about upcoming weeks. We don't know what's happening next Thursday, or I guess this upcoming Thursday, if anything happens. And I looked over Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. I feel like there was other, like, upfront stuff. But before we sign off today, I would like to, if we have the opportunity to do so, if you guys want to talk about any of these shows, that I have always, in the BHultra Patreon server, been watching different shows every Sunday. Do a little lineup of whatever stuff is releasing and whatever old stuff we want to watch. And there's some Koala Man in there because the server voted for it. We've been watching through Succession as well. I think that might be all of it. Everything else, every week more or less, because there's been new ones coming out. This is very zoomed in. Can I zoom out? I guess it's fine the way it is. I've been watching the new episodes that have been coming out each week of Hazbin Hotel, the newest episode of Fiona and Cake. Okay, are these all going to be zoomed in if I do that? Chair Company, the new Smiling Friends, the new Haha You Clowns, and Pluribus. Now I want to ask you guys, which of these shows have you seen the latest episodes of? I know we have different...
Just Smiling Friends for me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm all caught up on everything except I haven't started Pluribus, and I don't watch Hazbin, so everything else I'm good to go with.
I'll give my...
It's very... I will say it's very funny that that one clip from the new Smiling Friends is going around. It's like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe they did that. And then the same exact night, the ending of that Chair Company episode came out. And I'm like, if more people watch this, then I think there'd be a different story as for exactly what the craziest thing that aired tonight was.
Because I've been hearing crazy hype for Smiling Friends is great, and even like Pluribus is like as prestige TV. But I've been loving the Chair Company so far. This has been a crazy year for shows in general.
It is so good.
But,
I love Chair Company.
See, this is why you need to be an adult to be in the BHultra Patreon Discord server because of shows like the Chair Company, which everyone would just
that slapped me so hard, like out of nowhere.
That's certainly a way of putting it, Dan.
Yeah.
Well,
it really haunted me.
It haunts the narrative.
What happened in Smiling Friends that people were so surprised about?
Is it just the Alan and Mr. Boss thing? Where
It's the Alan
licking
Mr.
him
Boss
up and
thing,
down.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk about the new episode of Smiling Friends as we've all seen it.
Okay. Yeah,
I've liked all the episodes
I
of the
guess
new
it is
season
kinda...
so far. I've heard people say that like this one isn't as... I think that it being a comedy doesn't negate criticisms, but the only criticism I saw is that like, oh man, these endings are really abrupt. But I find that really funny. I think it really adds to it.
Yeah.
So I just thought if these things are going to keep coming out each week and having banger episodes, I kind of wanted to talk about all of them. So real quick, I'll go over Hazbin, since nobody else has seen it. I've just seen the first 4 episodes. That I have issues with this show. I don't like this show. But not for the same reason everyone else dislikes the show. I feel like everyone... Not that there aren't valid criticisms, but like the prevailing opinion is not one I agree with, and I think sometimes people dislike it for really petty and dumb reasons. And I don't think swearing is a problem in the show. However, what I do think is a problem with the show, and this isn't even necessarily blaming the people who work on it, but just a matter of circumstance, that the episode orders are really holding it back. Like, it is shackled to be 10 20-minute episodes, and they've been releasing 2 episodes each week, which I hate, by the way. I would much rather see 1 episode a week. And the first season...
Fiona and Cake's doing 1 a week now.
Yeah.
They did 2, and now they're doing 1, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, even like Pluribus, like they dropped the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, okay, well, I can watch these, but then we're going back to 1 week, please. I hated when Invincible dropped the first 3 episodes because none of them stood on their own.
They're still doing it.
I hate when they do
dumb
that.
Because it's like there's 8 episodes a season. Why are you doing this?
And then we take a hiatus in the middle of the season. But I think Hazbin Hotel is a really bad pacing issue. And a lot of the character development is implied. It happens off screen and we don't get to see it. And filler has sort of become like a dirty word when it comes to talking about shows nowadays. And I can understand why if the show is only getting 10 episodes, right? You have to really fit it all in there. But I think what the plot of season 1 is, like there's a new demon.
It's 8 episodes.
Season 1 is 8 episodes?
Same with season 2.
Oh my god, that's worse. All right, well, the plot of season 1, as I remember it, is that there's a new demon, Serpentius, who is trying to, like, you know, prove himself as a good demon and join the hotel, and then there's a huge battle against Heaven at the end. I think that the whole Heaven thing, because that entire battle, the penultimate episode, the final, like, right before the finale, they learn that the battle's happening, and then the battle happens in the final episode, and it feels so rushed. I think that big battle should have been season 2, and the arc of season 1 should have been Serpentius, like, working his way into the good graces of the hotel, because, again... Whenever you talk about this show with, like, a hardcore fan, they already like the show and have liked it since the pilot came out. So I bring these criticisms up. I'm not saying it's everyone, just like sometimes, and I think it's interesting to look into that. I bring up my issues with pacing and character development and the individual relationships, and they say like, oh, well, like this is explained on this one podcast or this one stream where they're doing like an animatic, and I'm like, no, that's not the show though. Like, it should, the showrunner said it, but I don't consider anything canon until it shows up in the show. And I love Steven Universe, but even Steven Universe had that same issue where people say, like, oh, well, the Crewniverse said this. It's like, okay, but that's not in the show. And I understand there are context outside of just the show being created by the artist. Like, I know that there's always producers or other larger channel conglomerates involved. But I think that a lot of the character development for this show is implied. I've already liked Season 2 better, pretty much because each episode's like 20-something minutes, and there's now 3 songs per episode, so that's like a good 9 minutes of each episode that's dedicated to music, and those are my favorite parts. Like, I'll say I don't really care that much about the recent episodes, but I've been listening to all the songs from those episodes while I go on my walks or while I go driving, and I really like them. Honestly, if they just pulled a Hamilton and there's just no dialogue, like it's just all singing, I think I would like the show more, but I understand why you're not pulling back and immediately going full throttle, because you don't know if you're getting renewed for another season, so you might as well do it all now. But I think it reflects poorly on the show. That's all I have to say about it of the 4 episodes we've seen so far. Also, there's a Jack the Ripper character in the second episode who looks exactly like Jack the Ripper from Total Drama World Tour. Moving on, Dan, have you seen the most recent episode of Fiona and Cake?
Yeah, I have. And I will say, I'm liking this season. I am. But it is a lot more of a slow burn than season 1 was.
It's a little too grounded, yeah.
It's a little too grounded, and I'm like, I'm kind of here for the not Fiona and Cake stuff, which is kind of bad, given that it's about Fiona and Cake.
Right.
I care more about the non-Fiona and Cake stuff.
It's very clear that they did. And then it got popular and it got renewed for another one, and they're like, oh, I guess we have to do something. And I understand the idea, and this new episode kind of goes into it more, that the first 2 episodes are heavily focused on Fiona, and maybe some Simon, and Finn is there too. That the new episode shows the dichotomy of it, where it's constantly cutting back to life-threatening horrors happening in the Adventure Time world, and then cutting back to Fiona, and she's like, oh, I gotta make a cake, I need a date for this dance. And I think that's the joke, but I'm realizing also that I wanted to rewatch the previous season, but I was with someone and they're like, oh no, I've already seen the season. And I'm like, oh, I guess I have too. Going into this, I do not remember what happens in the first season at all. I think I just totally blanked. I remember some vague things.
Yeah, I remember they brought back a character in episode 2. I'm like, who was this guy again?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds familiar, and I just did not remember him. And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I remember him now, but like, okay, what are you going to do with him? And then they just don't do anything with him.
I think this is an issue with a lot of different modern shows season 2s. Like the first season, it was just like immediately batting a home run and not knowing there was going to be more. And then season 2 is made in the context of knowing it's going to get a lot more seasons. Like, that was my issue with Stranger Things season 2 or Severance season 2, is that they're less self-contained and they're more like preparing for the future. And I feel like this season is kind of trying to expand the world. And how many episodes is it supposed to have in this season? Because this is already episode 3.
They both have 10.
Okay. And
so at least this one has a bit more to it than Has Been does. And yeah, it's kind of like also.
By the way, for everyone watching, this is why I have the images on screen of the new episodes. If you don't want to hear about it, then skip ahead to the next image. We're not going to get like too deep into spoilers, but like Huntress Wizard hasn't really appeared in her world yet, right? She just is like a little seed.
Yeah, I mean, she's still a seed.
Right.
So.
And I gotta say, maybe just because I kind of fell out of Adventure Time near the tail end outside of the miniseries, but I don't really care about Huntress Wizard that much either. Like, it's not a character I'm super compelled by.
I have a lot of friends who love Huntress Wizard, and I mean, that's cool. I never really got the hype personally.
It's cool aesthetically, I guess.
I just, I think there's so much more intrigue with the character of Simon, despite the fact that we have already spent so much time on Simon, because the character is interesting, the gimmick behind him is interesting, and the fact that there's so much more to dive into is interesting. Whereas we've had like 3 episodes with Huntress Wizard in the original, maybe like 5, I don't remember. And I'm just thinking like, I don't really care.
Huntress Wizard is that potential man meme where it's like, well, she could have had a relationship with Finn and it would have been cool if we had more show to show that.
I mean, I will say, well, they had 10 seasons. I will say that I do like that it seems like the beginning of every episode is a different style, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the dream sequences, that's
very
fun.
Cool. Yeah, that's a very cool thing they're doing. I like that a lot.
I will say, though, although I haven't really loved the Fiona and Cake aspects of Fiona and Cake, I really do like the idea of a show coming back with a spin-off and just like the show's characters, like Adventure Time characters, are sort of just like in the background. I really like that as an idea for other cartoons. Like instead of bringing back Gumball, King of the Hill, stuff like that, even though I like those shows, the idea of bringing back a cartoon but having the main characters just kind of in the background and then somebody else is doing something, I think that's a fun way to flesh out the world. I like the most recent episode, but I think the first 3 have really bled together, and I think it kind of reeks of not knowing what they were going to do with season 2. Hopefully I change my tune if we keep doing this each week and each episode gets better. Like, was it the next one? Skip over the Chair Company real quick. We talked about Smiling Friends, right? Smiling Friends is always good. I don't think I've seen a Smiling Friends episode that I didn't like yet. Even like the Brazil one, like I thought the bit was funny. But I will say,
yeah, there's none that I dislike.
Yeah, they haven't. And I think I heard someone in my server say, like, oh, is this going to be like a Rick and Morty situation where season 3 really changes? But I think the thing with Rick and Morty is that they changed the entire writer's room in season 3. And what is pristine about Smiling Friends is every episode is written by Zach Hadel, Michael Cusack, and sometimes Hans van Harken. But more or less, it's just those two. It is very clearly their show. And I think that comes through a lot.
I mean, they clearly are doing like an Aqua Teen thing. Like every episode was written by Dave and Matt, like all the way to the end, which I respect. I get it. So like, I think that, you know, I think it's good that they're like having the helm on this one, you know?
It is their show, and especially, you know, it makes more sense for the show to be coming out now that it is because every season has a Halloween and Christmas episode. I hope we see an upcoming Christmas episode. That'd be nice. The Halloween episode
they are getting one.
The Halloween episode got delayed just because it wasn't finished, right?
I thought it got delayed because the joke was that it never airs on time. I thought that's what the joke was.
You think they purposefully delayed it?
I don't think it's like it's not like a South Park thing where they're going till the very end, right?
Yeah. South Park season 28, by the way, the premiere of season 28.
Don't even talk to me about it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
But
what was the point of that?
Looking back,
what happened with South Park?
So they aired.
So 27 was supposed to be 10 episodes, and for whatever reason, after episode 5, they decided, I don't know if this was Paramount or Comedy Central or who, it's like, instead of this being season 27, episode 6, let's make it season 28, episode 1.
So yeah, the 6-7 episode is the start of season 28.
Which, I don't know.
I guess they didn't want it to be episode 6, but like looking back, the excitement of that first episode with the whole Paramount lawsuit situation was really fun. But looking back at now season 27 as a whole, I didn't care for it that much.
I'm not like, that first episode was great, but then like, I'm just like, I'm kind of over this now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little over it.
This always happens with South Park is they come back and then there's a headline like, oh, they're taking on this thing. And it's like, whoa. And for a while, that ChatGPT episode like enlightened a lot of people where they're like, oh yeah, it does just regurgitate my ideas. But
I did find, I never saw the whole episode, but I found the bit about like how, what's the word? Like, I can't think of the word right now, but how much ChatGPT loves you and tells you how awesome you are. Sycophantic, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was pretty funny. It's like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say, not to be mean, but whenever I see videos of people being like, I escaped AI psychosis, like I legitimately thought ChatGPT is my friend. Like, I know that there are people that are worse off, and there are hopefully mental health institutions to like help people and infrastructure in place. But come on, like I don't know. And not that I don't have pity
I'll
for
push
it, but
back against that. Not to like antagonize you.
No, that's
I mean,
fair.
there are people that like I think you know, especially people with schizophrenia or like a tendency towards psychosis, they'll believe that TV's talking to them.
Yeah.
Or like they're like messages for them, kind of like hidden around. I think that if you give someone like that, like with that tendency, not to like, you know, like if someone's unmedicated or prone to that, I can imagine like them having issues with ChatGPT or any kind of large language model.
Yeah. And just more like beginning to use it at all. And I made a TikTok video that I also posted on Reels not long ago where I was like, legitimately, what are you guys using it for? And people thought they were like answering honestly or one-upping by being like, oh, well, I'd rather share my ideas with it than a real person. And I'm like, why? Why would you rather do that?
Because it's nice to me.
Yeah, it's so strange. Anyway, as I was saying, they're like, oh, a show that gets better each episode. Haha You Clowns has really turned around for me. Like, I don't think I got the bit in the first 2 episodes, but this episode plain and then the last episode with the bomber jacket, I really like them a lot. I think that it's really picked up.
Did you watch the Smalls, or did you go in blind?
I went in blind. But I had seen Joe Kappa's work
the
before.
Smalls, you kind of like get what the gist is, but like, I will say I have been enjoying it more and more as the episodes go on.
I hope it's like a Royal Cracker situation where like early on it's like, okay, this is just another thing. And then as it builds, it's like, wait, no, hold on, this kind of hits. But like each episode has been better. Although I really like Bomber Jacket, I think this plain episode's my favorite. And I hope that next week's episode is also my new favorite.
I still think I like Bomber a little more, but this one was very good.
Yeah. Also, I was watching it in a server of my patrons, and I just released the Robot Chica video where I refer to George Lucas as the director of Red Tails. And then there's a little reference to Red Tails in Bomber Jacket where he has the photo of the character.
Right.
I didn't even clock it initially. But it is crazy, because what else? Or Pluribus, I guess. That obviously I've been waiting to watch Has-Been and Fiona each Sunday. But that every Sunday there's a new Smiling Friends at 11:30, a new Haha You Clowns at 11:45, and then there's a new The Chair Company at 10, and I'm constantly refreshing HBO Max. Like, I didn't love Last of Us Season 2, but on top of this, there's like Severance Season 2, The Rehearsal Season 2, oh man, what's it, Common Side Effects, like crazy year for TV, and I love The Chair Company.
I also heard the new It show is very good.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, is it?
I've heard the opposite.
That's what I've heard, yeah. Oh, you've heard the opposite? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing from different people.
Well, I know it's like a Stephen King like universe thing. I've seen, I guess spoilers. Well, there's a Shining character that shows up. I've heard that it's like the overarching Stephen King lore. Big year for Stephen King adaptations, by the way. I loved The Monkey. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, Stephen King?
Yeah, it was a short story.
I did not know that.
What was
it?
That
is crazy.
Yeah, it's The Running Man, The Monkey, It. There was like another Stephen King adaptation.
The Running Man, Stephen King? Damn. Yeah. I am way off on Stephen King stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Well, I would at least recommend watching The Monkey because it's directed by Osgood Perkins, and I think all my issues with Longlegs is that I kept thinking it was funny, and I don't know if the movie was trying to go for that, whereas The Monkey is a black comedy and just is a lot more funny.
I love The Monkey. It's so funny because I'm really upset about this because I put this off for too long because I've just been so busy with other things and it's been on my back burner for a while. But I've been working, in addition to the American Dad video, I've also been working on this in-depth video about Psychops. Do you know what Psychops is?
Yes, I watched a little bit of it. It didn't quite make it into my...
And I even interviewed the guys who did it back in like 2024, like December, and it was supposed to come out in February, and I've been so swamped with work and other stuff, it just has been on the back burner for so long, and I apologize for that. But basically, it's crazy because I look into the history of this thing, right? And it's by like Oddfellows Labs, Oddfellows Productions, and I look more into that, and it's the same fucking guy who did Longlegs and The Monkey.
Osgood Perkins?
Fucking Psychops. Yes, and it's the wildest shit connection I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
Like, that is crazy.
That
is insane.
Fuck, what was it? There's some... I think it was Predator Badlands. I guess I could talk about this real quick. The last Friday before this episode, I saw Predator Badlands in theaters. And I was going to say that Osgood Perkins' new film, Keeper, comes out this upcoming weekend, so I'm going to watch that. And I'm also going to watch Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I don't think I told this story on the pod, but the meme has always been, why the fuck is the second one called Now You See Me Too, when it obviously should have been called Now You Don't? Something like that, right? Like there's that infamous Dan Harmon rant about it. And then I had dinner with like my family, with my dad and my stepmom. And my dad is not like a dumb guy, but he has very specific taste. Like he doesn't love... He likes more grounded stories, right? And something that's a little bit more drama. And he was talking to me about Woody Harrelson. He's like, oh yeah, that new Woody Harrelson movie. And I was like, oh yeah, that one indie film where he's like the dad and he moved on from his dead wife. And he's like, no, the one where, and he snapped his finger like, oh, the one where he's a magician? I'm really excited about that. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And because the movie is called Now You See Me, Now You Don't, he didn't know that it was a part of a franchise. He just thought it was like a new movie. So I guess that disproves my point that if it was called Now You See Me 3, he would have known that it would be a sequel. Anyway, that's unrelated. What I was saying is the director of Predator Badlands, because I was looking into it, is also the director of Prey. Circling back to what you said about Osgood Perkins, this guy is also the director of Portal, the fan film, I believe.
Oh my god.
And learning that, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. But it makes sense because the whole time I was watching Predator Badlands, it's a shame we don't get tie-in video games anymore, because this game legitimately just should have been, or sorry, this movie should have just been a game. The whole time I was watching it, this is the only true Monster Hunter adaptation. Like, there's crafting mechanics. You'll see on the poster that this is a silent protagonist, and then at the beginning he picks up this annoying tutorial robot who tells him how the world works. Like, you can see how this would be like a PlayStation game, right? Where you have this robot attached to you that's just telling you what to do. The whole time I'm like, damn, this movie could have been an email. No, this movie could have been a game. But that's my opinion on Predator Badlands. What was I saying? Yeah.
It's just so funny because you go to Oddfellow's website.
Yes.
And it's got like these two clips side to side. It goes back and forth. It's like all these like prestige looking things. And then all of a sudden it just cuts to Cyclops. And that's just the funniest shit ever. It is so goddamn funny that it's just like that's one of their things and they're proudly presenting it. Like that is, I love that. That is my favorite.
I didn't know that the director of VHS Halloween is like the Yule Log Too Many Cooks guy. I did not know that.
I did know that. That is it's Casper Kelly, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I knew that because I love Casper. I've been following his stuff for a while.
Well, what are your thoughts on The Chair Company?
What are my thoughts on the So, okay, I will say going into this, I have still not watched I Think You Should Leave.
That's crazy.
I've not watched
You gotta watch that, man.
I know. I have seen Friendship, and I love Friendship.
I did too.
That is a great movie. I honestly didn't even know about this until my friends told me about it in regards to this show. So I actually started from like episode 2, and that's the first episode I saw, and I was so hooked I went back to episode 1, and then just like we've been watching it weekly, and it just gets fucking crazier and crazier, and it's just like it is so goddamn funny and so wild out there. It's like it's supposed to be like this. I think it's like a parody of like prestige television in what it's trying to do.
And that's what I like about Friendship, is Friendship kind of felt like a parody of an A24 movie.
It is a parody of an A24 movie. It's just that. And it's so funny because I always quote the fucking Marvel movie line to like
there's a new Marvel out. It's going to be nuts.
There's a new Marvel out. It's going to be nuts.
I wrote, when I was writing, I think was it the Adult Swim game script or maybe the Robot Chicken script? I wanted that clip of Friendship where it's like, oh, and then Thanos walks in with the elixir. And I had just seen the movie, so I wrote it into my script. I'm like, man, I really hope the movie's on digital by the time I'm working on this video so I can get the clip of it specifically for this. But if you're familiar with Tim Robinson and like I Think You Should Leave and even Friendship, everyone always talks about his crash outs, his freakouts, like his screaming. That's his main thing, is how huge his reactions are. But I think something that's kind of undercut, and I think I tweeted about this, that the best parts of The Chair Company are his more reserved reactions to hearing like slightly strange things. In the bit in the first episode where they're talking about low security on the mall construction site, and he's like, yeah, there was a teacher drinking with students, and he had his shirt off, and then he just cuts to him and he's like, I'm doing a face right now, but you can't see it. And then in the episode before this one, where they talk about his coworker that got crushed by her fridge, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Mark found him, and he gave him a bath before he called the paramedics." And then it cuts to him, and he says, and the episode, I'm gonna keep quoting it. The episode before that, where his son is talking about Abbott and Costello, I just think this show's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
And you're right, specifically in the most recent episode, the way that episode ends is crazy.
That was like, because normally what they do is they end it on like a pseudo cliffhanger or something that leads into the next one.
Yeah.
And then this episode's ending comes over and it's just like, okay, sure.
It also almost feels like it's going to cut away. Like a little, like it's like...
You do feel like it's going to cut away.
And then you see it. And then the action happens at the beginning. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're just doing that.
I will say it's also like a surprisingly wholesome ending. Like probably the most wholesome ending we've gotten thus far in the show.
Something bad's going to happen.
Because like I love Mike. He might be my favorite character on this show. He is so goddamn funny.
Do you think... I keep wanting to call Tim's character Craig, but I think that's his character in Friendship.
That's Friendship, yeah.
Yeah. We think in the server that his daughter might be Ron, right. Well, okay, well, we won't say as much. Like, Hasbin can go either way. You know, Haha, You Clowns is airing after Smiling Friends, other stuff. Switchy, I do think you should watch The Chair Company. Above all the other shows.
I probably would like it based on what you guys are saying about it.
Yeah, that way we could all discuss these moving forward. And also, this week we saw the release of Vince Gilligan's new prestige television show, Pluribus. And you guys said you haven't seen it, so without getting too much into it, it's a very... There are only so many, like, active players that can be involved in this story. And the fact that Vince Gilligan said, like, oh, it might go for 4 seasons, I don't even know how you get 1 season out of this. So that's all I have to say about that. I guess we accidentally didn't talk about it because we were talking about other things. But yeah, the Nintendo Store app, I forgot almost entirely. Do you guys want to say what your... Because on the new Nintendo Store app, you can track your activity of all the games you have played across the Wii U, the 3DS, the Switch, and the Switch 2. Do you guys have a list of what your most played game is across all of those different consoles?
Apparently mine is Animal Crossing New Leaf, but
How
that's
many
not
hours?
even considering what happened after. It's like 400 something hours, but that's not considered. That's not that's not including what happened after like March of 2020 when they stopped doing the servers. So there might be some more. But most of the 3DS games I think are a little bit cut off because of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was worried too that like it wasn't gonna extend back because I was checking my purchase history and it only went back to like 2019. And it also, like, capped out at 2024, so I'm like, oh, man, it's not going to have all my 3DS stuff. But it does have the game time. What about you, Dan?
Yeah.
What's your highest?
It says my highest is Odyssey at over 150 hours.
Okay, well, now I feel kind of bad.
Well, no, I replayed that game a lot, though,
Well,
so,
I mean, you said 400 hours and 150. It says I have over 500 hours in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And then everything else under that is just over 100. Nothing even gets close to Ultimate.
I think I forget how many hours I have specifically in Smash Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Yeah, what's your hierarchy? Because
I have 108. Oh, no, I have over 100 hours.
So what are your, like, if you could just scroll and fill up your entire phone, like, what is the tier list of games you've played the most? Because I'm looking at mine, I'm a little disappointed in myself.
I mean, my biggest list, actually, at least that's recorded because I think I might have hit 500 on New Leaf, but I'm not 100% sure. So my list of games with over 100 hours, not less than 500, is Animal Crossing New Leaf, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, which I was kind of making fun of myself for. But in my defense, like I played like that game has 3 routes, and I played like several routes multiple times. Then there's New Horizons, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Smash Ultimate, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. This stuff is all at least like 200 to 300 hours.
It's a good variety.
Xenoblade 3, Smash 3DS, which is probably like 200 something hours. Then also Xenoblade for the 3DS. This is where it gets kind of interesting, which I probably have like 200 hours of. Then there's Smash Wii U. There's Fire Emblem Awakening, Mario Odyssey. At this rate, we're probably at around like 120 to 150 hours. Xenoblade X Definitive Edition, just the Super Nintendo. All the times I've played on the Super Nintendo, over 100 hours. And then there's Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So if you add that to the 3DS version, you probably have like 300, 400 hours. Pokemon Ultra Moon. No, Pokemon Normal Moon, because I think I just basically I played a lot of Moon, but then like when Ultra Moon came out, I just did everything and didn't really like keep playing it much. And then actually the original Xenoblade Chronicles X, so that one has over 100 hours too. And then Pokemon Shining Pearl, I got just over 100 hours on Shining Pearl.
Nice. What about you, Dan? What's your hierarchy?
Like 6 games in over 100 hours, and none of them are 3DS or Wii U.
Yeah,
I don't have any 3DS or Wii U over. I don't have any that are not. The highest I have is over 10 hours, and that's Smash 3DS. I don't even know. Do I have any? I guess Smash Wii U is my highest Wii U.
I'll let you guys know my highest 3DS game is a Virtual Console game.
Which one? I gotta know now.
So my hierarchy, I wanted to hear what you guys' rankings were to hear the variety. The only game that's gone over 500 is Smash Ultimate. And then everything I'm about to list is everything above 10 hours. So, just anything that extends past 10. My ranking in order is Smash Ultimate, Pokemon Shield, Minecraft, Pokemon Scarlet, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Home, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Ultra Moon, Pokemon Silver, and then Mario Odyssey. So not a lot of variety.
Yeah, at least for me, like it's hard to get more than 100 hours in a game unless I'm playing it multiple times, you know? And a lot of these games aren't counted, like aren't fully counted. Like, I think if I can't. I mean, if I had counted all the times I've played Earthbound, that's probably up like maybe like 400, 500 hours. But most games I don't play that much. I mean, Minecraft might be over 1,000 hours. My most played game ever, at least that I know of, and it probably is actually Sid Meier's Civ 6.
That's fair.
With 1,500 hours. I mean, I think I'm not really the kind of person that like. And that's a game I've been playing over like 7 years, although I think I got to 1,000 within a year, so maybe that doesn't mean that much. But I think like I know people who have like 4,000, 5,000 hours of like TF2. I only have 1,000 hours of it. I'm not the kind of person I think who plays a game that like consistently.
I'm looking at it right now.
Especially because I'm not a pro gamer. Like I don't really try and get super good at games, and I feel like that's what gets people into like, oh, okay, like this is like 500. This is like thousands of hours because this is a game I try and be as good as possible at.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty uniform to have your most played game as more of like an online infrastructure, just because you have days where you just load it up and do the same thing over and over again. Which is probably why the Pokemon games are so high up there, is that I'll just transfer everything into Pokemon, and that will be the Pokemon game that I play for a couple years, I assume. That's why it's so strange, and I mentioned this on stream, that I thought for a while, and I hoped for a while, that the slate was new Pokemon generation, DLC, Pokemon Legends, Let's Go, some kind of remake thing, right? And they were each separated by a year. So 1 year of a new generation, 1 year of DLC, 1 year of a Legends, let's say. And that worked because there was a new generation every 3 years. But now, if that Terra leak is to be trusted, I mean, we have the ZA DLC coming out in December. So, and we have to assume that maybe Gen 10 will be 2026 because it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. But even that says that like the DLC is coming out later that year as well. It seems like they're really like thinning it out, which I don't care for. I'd rather have game DLC, as opposed to a new game every year. Like even Pokemon Scarlet, I wasn't even thinking about it before I played ZA. We've been playing Scarlet for like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think ZA specifically, they're just they're rushing out the DLC because, I mean, I think the leaks pretty much said this. I think they're suiting up for Gen 10 next year.
Yeah.
So they don't want to I think they'd rather just have the DLC follow the main game for a couple months, and then like maybe February is when they do the Pokemon Direct, and then they announce the new DLC. Then they announce the new game. Gen 10.
Apparently, I have more time in Tomodachi Life than I do Pikmin 4. I guess that makes sense. I dedicated a lot of time.
I was disappointed in myself. I never hit 100 hours of Tomodachi Life.
These are all under 10.
Tomodachi Life.
I'm so excited for that. I forgot That's spring 2026, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I played more.
Pikmin 4's not on there for me. What the hell?
Damn, you didn't play it at all. Yeah, some of these are like it says
No,
it says I played
did.
Pokemon X for a couple minutes. That can't be right.
Interesting.
So my 6 that are over 100 in order from most to least. One of them is kind of a cheat. You'll see. So Mario Odyssey, Smash Ultimate, Ace Attorney Trilogy.
Nice.
Don't ask me how that happened.
Nice.
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Oof.
Nintendo 64 app. That's the cheat. And Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, again, you guys have really good variety. I got Pokemon, and then they got a Mario, a Minecraft, and Animal Crossing, but nothing is nowhere near as close. How many exact hours? It just tells me over 500 hours in Ultimate.
It doesn't say the exact, which is unfortunate.
No, it says first played December 7th, 2018, though. That was the launch day. Wait, it tells me how much I played? Wait, hold on. This is crazy. I'm scrolling down now. It's telling me how much I played on each day. What's
Yeah,
Wait, that's cool. They have that too.
Part of it.
what's the longest?
At least for some of the newer stuff. I don't think they have it. Oh no, they might actually have it in depth for some older stuff
okay.
too. I forget.
July 30th, I played it for 5 hours. I think that's when Banjo came out.
Oh my god, I need to see something now.
Yeah, I
Like,
want to scroll.
holy shit,
This
wait.
is okay. How much did I play on launch day? This is
I don't see it for any of my 3DS games or my
they don't
Wii
have
U games.
because I mean I think you probably because I think it is actually stored in the 3DS activity log.
Oh my god.
Um,
All right, how long do you think I played
too
it
much.
on launch day on December 7th, 2018?
15 hours.
Dan?
20.
Okay, so what it has listed here, I know I got it on the 7th. It says 6.5 hours on the 6th. So maybe it just rolled over to midnight. And then it says
Maybe.
17 hours and 45 minutes on the 7th.
That's over 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't think I stopped playing the game.
Oh my
think it is-
goodness.
I'm gonna pull up my play session for Smash Ultimate the first day it came out.
I should tweet this out. That's crazy. I should...
Let me see what my PlayStation looks like for the first day.
Man, I love Smash Bros.
Okay,
I don't know if you
so
guys know this
the
about
day
me.
Smash Ultimate came out, I played for 11 hours and 15 minutes. The second day, I played for 15 hours.
Nice.
Third day, I played for 16 hours and 30 minutes. I think that's the day I finished World of Light, and I fucking hated that shit. I
Damn.
was so disappointed with World of Light. I was like, I wanted to beat it as
mind
fast
it.
as possible to see all the cutscenes, and there were like no cutscenes.
Well, that's my thing with these Pokemon, like the new Pokemon megas that you have to play online to get, and even like Mario Tennis Aces where you had to do the online tournaments to get alternate skins, that when they added online tournaments to Smash Bros. Ultimate and you could like play them and win them, and then what you get for winning the tournament is getting spirits that are already in the game. And I had already fully completed the game, and I know I'm an outlier, but it felt I didn't want to do the online tournaments unless I was playing with friends because I'm just getting a spirit I already have. So I'd rather it just be, even if it's a spirit, like a new spirit, something that incentivizes me to do the tournament. But you're right, like once I finished World of Light, I kind of had no desire to play anything else other than Smash Bros. A traditional Smash.
I think the longest I played was when did Banjo launch?
It was July of 2019.
Oh, then I'm way off.
Wait.
The longest I played was like almost 8 hours.
No,
in
maybe it was
February of
September because it
2019.
was Banjo came out when okay, hold on. I used to have this actually set up. When did Banjo release Smash Bros? Okay, it was September 2019. Because I remember that was with the direct where they announced Terry and then also Sans. Man, I'm letting you guys know right now. I know we did the Switch 2 launch stream. If a new Smash is coming out, everyone's coming over. Everyone's invited. I'm doing a big thing. I need 8 players to get that 8-player Smash. Well, that's what I was saying. Is I'm hoping to get enough people together to play Kirby Air Riders. I think that would be fun. We'll see what we could do. That's been the issue with Switch 2 Ultra is finding people that have the Switch 2. But I think this is I like the way this one went a lot. We talked for elongated periods of time, and granted, we had a lot of news to cover. But I do think moving forward, we should just have Dan on whenever we can, because that was the conflict initially, is that Dan just wasn't free
down.
all the Mondays. But this is good.
I'm not
I like
against
this.
it.
Are we sticking with the same name? I guess that makes more sense. What about Switch Dan
Switch
Ultra?
Dan
Oh, is it
Ultra.
still Switch 2 Ultra?
What else would we call it? Switch Dan 2 Ultra? Switch 2 Dan Ultra?
Nintendo Switch 2 Ultra.
The Nintendo The
I don't
Mando Show. We just rebrand the entire thing.
Dan Switch Ultra.
I think the purpose of the show is we need to keep the Switch 2 in there because that's why the show exists.
That's true.
Well, before we end off today, I normally don't
How about
have.
Switch 2 Ultra Funky Dan DLC?
It would put you in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we could at least remove it from the thumbnail. The Dan is implied. We'll have to put.
Featuring Dan.
Yeah,
from the
whenever an
Dan the
episode
Man
doesn't
Show
have
YouTube
Dan,
channel.
we'll have a thumbnail that says no Dan.
Yeah.
Just like put a big X over his face.
Yeah, he's actually banned this episode. That I
He's
normally.
in timeout.
I think the last couple years, other than when there's a new Pokemon generation, I don't really make videos in November. But I have, for those of you who know, a sizable amount of content for the Patreon that I could edit together for its own video in November, just to have something then. But for me, I've just been really excited working on this December video and also continuing to write the Smash video that'll be like, I don't know, at some point next year. But I don't have anything I'm currently working on that I could say, but you guys are both working on large projects concurrently.
Yeah.
Do we have anything to say
I
about
gotta
either
say,
of those?
I'm very excited. I am very excited for your video, Switchy. I am
Yeah.
very excited.
I appreciate it. I mean, basically, the thing, like, okay, I don't like making promises, and I bus because this video, I have people who
I hate when that happens,
if-
but you're right.
Yeah, I don't diss them. I mean,
I've been there.
everyone's got their
Been
own
there.
thing, but provided they give me what I need in time, it should be done by the end of the year. Like I'll just say it. I've edited I've edited the entire video. Like basically, I mean, there are a few things I need to slot in. You know what I mean? But other than the things I need to slot in, I've finished the intro, background knowledge, all of the episodes except for episode 1. I'm currently working on episode 1, and then I need to do
Damn,
the
you're doing that
conclusion.
one last?
I did it last just because
That could not be me.
what I'll often do is I'll start with like a shorter episode review just to kind of like get myself into the workflow because it's often been a while since I last did it. So, and the first episode review I think is like 25-30 minutes. A lot of the episode reviews are like pretty damn long. So I ended up just doing the first one last, especially because there's a few things from other people I need to slot in. Usually doing those kinds of things later on is better just because it's easier to kind of work when you can do the chunks that you can completely finish and not have to worry about later on, if that makes sense. Yeah, so like I'm working on the first episode last, and then I have to do the conclusion. And to be fair, the conclusion's like half an hour. So
I mean,
there's
that is
still like a good like 40 minutes left that I need to edit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I gotcha. I am also aiming for the end of the year. I had this video that came out right before Andrew's video, Robot Chicken video came out. It's supposed to come out in September, but I also had some issues. Just had to, in his defense, we kind of had to like get this content figured out in regards to how we're gonna get it like figured out, and we did, and it all worked out. So, but that was on the back burner for a while. But I'm like 3/4 of the way done. I'd say like maybe 10 or 11 hours in right now, and I have not even recorded or edited the. That's like I do that. I think I'm on like season 16 or 17 right now.
And there's still like, when does the next season come out? They're still concurrently making more, right?
I literally. Like, I'm aiming for late December, early January release.
Okay.
Barring anything else happening. But that is my main priority right now.
Switchy, when do you think realistically, if you had to pick a time frame, do you think within the year?
I mean, it depends on when people I'm working with finish their stuff. And,
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't mean to, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but I mean,
that
depends
is
on
what
when
it
they can do
is.
stuff, and frankly, how much I like breathe down their necks, you know. So like, I mean, if I depending, it depends on their availability, but I don't think that any of the people that I need like kind of submissions from, I don't think it's something that they couldn't do in the next couple of weeks. And if they do it in the next couple of weeks, then yeah, I can have the video done probably in December.
I will say, without giving too much away, that, I mean, I said before that I don't know what the June video is going to be. I have, like, ideas for October, but beyond that, I'm just planning, like, the season ahead, like winter, spring. The November, if there is something in November, it'll just be exclusives that were on Patreon, as we're making more exclusives that they'll, like, put together in a video. December is, I think, probably going to be the most controversial video of the year.
Ooh.
The January one, I'm very nervous about filming. Like, it's the first, like, other places every year I like to have, not a big budget one, because, you know, the budget, technically the biggest budget was the Phantom Menace video, because I was buying all those toys, but one that's, like, more dipping its toe into film, like, doing something or going somewhere big, and the Halloween video was that last year. And there were kind of glimpses of that in this year's Halloween video, but I think the January one, that is technically, like, built on top of this year, will be that big, like, on-location one, but it's specifically filming on location that makes me nervous. And I haven't even, like, called the place to see if I can rent it out yet, because I'm even nervous to call them. Because whenever I'm filming at a place and somebody, like, comes up and asks what I'm doing, when I was younger, I would say it's a student film. And now I just think of some other lie. But there, like, if I'm on the phone with them, what am I going to say? Like, hey, can I rent this place out so I could film a YouTube video? I don't know if that's going to fly. So I'll have to, maybe they don't care, but. And then what I did this year is I sort of extended the videos a little bit. So they were announced at the end of the month, but released at the start of the next. So what is or would have been a March video is probably going to be the April Fool's video instead. And then April's a big one. I guess May is kind of a big one. I'm really bad about, like, stretching out the big ones and trying to put smaller ones in between. But I want the final Smash Bros. Video to release at the end of February. But that one I am more willing to delay just to finish it, because I don't want it to be 4 different videos. Like, I'd rather it just be a trilogy. Even though this one I'm covering 2020 and 2021, which is the first one that's covering 2 years. And I want that to be... That one I'm willing to push back. I think that's my biggest issue, is I feel like I'm not really willing to let it breathe. Like, I have strict end dates in mind, and I probably shouldn't. And that's the idea behind... I want to do a stretch goal with the Patreon, which is 666 paid subscribers, even if it's, like, the lowest tier of $3, that, like, you know, not peeling it too far back, but, you know, if I have that much each month, then I don't have to worry about getting a video out each month to, like, get by. I guess that's a really cynical way of looking at it, but I want to have, like, a proper stretch goal for that. I mean, that's the dream on YouTube, is you just get to the point where you're popular for existing, and the longer it takes to release a video, the bigger of a deal it is. And I wish I had more time to, like, fix the Barnyard one and not have it be so red, but I tried uploading a version and actually, like, appealing everything, and they struck it, so I deleted that video. So I'll have to find a way to get that Barnyard video unredded on YouTube at some point. But right now I think I need to be better about letting stuff get delayed. Like, I care too much about it being the beginning or the end of the month to coincide with an anniversary. Maybe I at least now that I'm doing the teasers, like, at the halfway point of each month I announce the video, at least now the teasers can fall on an anniversary. I feel a little bit better about that. I need to be able to just let them breathe. That's my biggest issue, but I'm working on writing the Smash video and the December video right now. I'm not editing anything. Well, I actually have to edit more Total Pokemon Action tonight. You're welcome, Dan.
Yo, let's fucking go.
I'm not going to get as far into it as you think. There's just a specific point I'm trying to reach that'll segue into something else. But, you know, subscribe to the BHultra Patreon. There's some cool stuff there. But I have been your co-parent, BHultra.
And I have been your co-parent, Switchy.
And I'm your Funkle Dan.
Aw, that's sweet. We will I guess there's nothing this Thursday that we know of, so whenever we tune back in, it'll be the week before Air Riders. Maybe we'll give our final predictions or whatever. Maybe something... Oh, wait, no, the Galaxy Direct is happening, and they're going to announce a new Pokemon thing. We'll have plenty to talk about, especially with these new shows. But as of right now...
No, the new Pokemon thing is happening after Monday.
Oh, the week after. So probably just a movie trailer. Stuff's always happening. Maybe the State of Play will announce something cool, but I doubt it. For right now... I am going to hang up, and I will get to that video, and I'll see you all next time. I need that song. Where's that track?